What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Beastly Thoughts Show live. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. We have a ton of stuff to talk about every week, though. But I think what's on everybody's mind this week is the Destiny beta. So let's go. Let's go through the list. Let's introduce everybody. Not too nerdy. How you been this week? What have you been up to?
I've been playing, I play a little Shovel Knight. That's why I started out the week playing, and then, I forgot anything else I played because all I did was Destiny after that. That's pretty much been the theme of the whole week. I level up as much, my character as I could and just wandered the whole, universe and started looking for different loots and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
So before we get into Destiny, because I know everybody on this call has been playing Destiny, talk about Shovel Knight a little bit, because this is currently available on the Nintendo systems, right? And on PC.
It's on for PC and the Wii U.
Okay.
Right now, I saw 95 Gamers, so if anyone's watching this right now, probably you should go see his videos, because he actually has a good video of it, and he showed a lot of different levels of the game. I just did a little speed run or time challenge after I beat the game, and it's a pretty cool game. It reminds me of, it's a retro style game. It reminds you a little bit of Super Mario Brothers, where you get to select the level and you move around the map display, the same style.
Yeah.
But it also is like Mega Man. That, to me, the gameplay resembles the most of Mega Man. Even the music is similar to Mega Man. So I feel like that's pretty much, it is funny because everything in the game hints to something, a retro style game. So it's pretty cool. And the difficulty is pretty hard as well. It's all about timing. It's all about memorization. Which
so you're able to beat it. It wasn't so hard that you weren't able to beat it, right?
Well, it's maybe not the first time, but yeah, you'll be like, oh, I know I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. So then you keep going through, and then you start remembering things, and then you'll see once you get it, you could go back in the game and as long as you memorize it, you'll start doing it even faster and even better. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Robbie, how you been this week? What have you been up to?
Been doing awesome. Just been playing a lot of that beta for this indie game called Destiny. It's made by a small team of about 5 people, and I've been really digging it. It's got 8-bit style graphics, huge open world, and it's just been a blast. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. So.
Never heard of it. Sounds like it's...
They had a Kickstarter, didn't they have a Kickstarter, right?
Yeah,
it was
500 million
actually.
Activision Kickstart.
Yeah.
PC Gamer, how you been? What have you been up to this week?
Oh man, I've been torn, brother. I've been torn. I like you guys. I've been playing Destiny. I've gone on and maxed my character out. I've been giving away beta codes because there's a lot of people out there with the PlayStation 4 who still didn't get the code. And I'm loving that game. I think after I finally leveled up my character fully and went through all the available missions, well, just straightforward missions, not side quests, and then I went and tried some PvP, I really had an epiphany of what this game really could mean for gamers. In general, I don't think there's been anything like it on the scale that they're creating here. If the beta is anything to show, this game will be. It could possibly be one of the best-selling games of all time. It has so much appeal across the board. I could see anybody who's like any first-person shooter of any kind will probably like this game. There's something for everybody. It really is. It's an amazing game.
All right, so obviously this is the game.
Too.
What's that?
I said, and I've been playing The Last of Us too.
Obviously, this is the game that's on everybody's mind. The beta was just released. It was Thursday, right? Actually, Beastly, you got me into the beta because I was having trouble with my codes, but you also told me how to get some codes, which was great. When it came out, I was a little bit concerned, or before it came out, I was a little bit concerned that, I'd already played the alpha. Is it going to be just the same content as the alpha? Am I just going to get sick of replaying the beginning of this game over and over again? But for me personally, that's not the case. I enjoy the gameplay so much that I'm having a great time even playing the missions that I played in the alpha. Beastly, this is your first time playing through those missions. What do you think so far?
I don't have anything bad to say about it. It has that appeal that Halo has for me. The reason I love Halo is the vast open worlds, the characters seem intelligent, the AI was good. And here it just comes tenfold. I felt like even when I was playing with a group of 3 or a group of 2, that the AI was so good. It was almost like going up against human players. You felt the sense of power. The open world seemed so expansive. I never came to an area that I couldn't go to. it's just huge and very enjoyable for me. I went back too and played a few of those missions that I beat previously just to find loot, because when I was playing with Not Too Nerdy ENT over there, he was finding loot boxes, and I was like, where the hell is this stuff? And so Kate and I were going back and forth last night, going back through Quest 5, Quest 6, looking through certain areas, finding boxes. It just has so much, I guess you'd call it replayability, because it's never going to be the same. There's different ways to do things. There's different ways to beat enemies. And from what I've seen, the upgrade system is phenomenal. I don't know how many weapons they're going to have in this game, but it feels a lot like Borderlands to me. Borderlands, every weapon you pick up is slightly different. It's like a snowflake. No two are the same.
I don't know if that's the case with the game. It seems to me that some of the game, like I'll run across people who are because you can see in the multiplayer what people have picked up after the match. Like a lot of times you're playing the Crucible matches, and people are getting awarded with stuff, and they'll get awarded with something that looks an awful lot like something I've gotten or I've used in the past. So I'm not sure if it's that unique snowflake, or if it's going to be, a lot of the stuff. There's just a lot of different weapons. Maybe they have different scopes. Maybe they have like slightly different stats.
Well,
Not too nerdy. Do you know anything about that? You seem like you got something to say.
Yeah, I want to say, because like I always bring up the fact that it looks like Defiance. It looks exactly Defiance gameplay. The way the weapon system works there is like you might have the same weapon as someone else, but they might have the fire emblem. They might have the ice emblem. There's different types of weapons. Like there's even like in Defiance they had like stuff that had like acid on it or poison, so like it's different specs to that weapon that completely changes the way the weapon works. It might not even look the same, the bullets look different, it actually damages you differently, and it seems like that's a route that they're going, which will completely switch up your weapon. Like, so that's why like you might have one weapon that has like 10 different things that'll make it completely different with the ammo that you have for that weapon. So that's why like it seems like they're doing stuff like that, which makes it almost endless, because they can have like a bunch of different weapons, and then within that weapon there's subsets of that weapon. So like that's
tweaks.
Yeah, there'll be different things like that, and it looks like that's what they're heading towards. And everything about it, I keep saying it, but like I played Defiance for like a year straight, so like I know like all the mechanics of it and stuff. Like everything there is pretty much like that, the way they do the weapons, and I think it's cool. I like the way that they spread out with the loot boxes. The first person to find a loot box in your group usually gets the most stuff. So if you tell the other people in your group, oh, I found a loot crate, and they all go towards it, the first person who finds it, opens it first, is the one that gets like an extra additional thing. So like that's why you'll get like a gun, or you'll get like a what's it called, the wings or whatever for like different parts of your shields and stuff like that. Like you'll get something like that also, which I think is pretty cool. Like so you can also like get better weapons. I think you get better weapons when you explore around and find it, rather than buying the weapon. From what I see,
that's been my experience too. Like a lot of time, they're more unique.
Yeah.
They're the green weapons too, which I don't know exactly how that mechanic is going to work when the game is released. But right now, there's weapons in gray boxes that aren't upgradable and they're more standard, and then there are ones in the green boxes that they have special characteristics, like maybe they give you 10 strength, or they allow you to carry more ammo for a certain type of gun, and they're also upgradable. So after you use them for a while, you might find that you can change the scope on it, or you might be able to change the damage on it, stuff like that. So those are a little more rare. And my guess is that not only are we going to have green weapons in the full game, but we're also going to have other colors depending on how rare it is.
They have a gold, and that's the legendary one. That's what I was saying. Like I was so close to picking it up, and someone picked it up in front of me, and like it seemed like only. I don't know if they're going to do it like that, but it might be like only one person can pick up that weapon. So it might be like they might just drop it randomly within a certain time limit. They'll drop random weapons that like it'll be there, and only one person could do it, and that's like a gold like template on it. It's not green, and it's called legendary weapon. So like that was right away. That's pretty cool that they do stuff like that, because it seems like they're rewarding you for exploring the map, for going around and just not even focused on the mission, but going around and exploring. And I think that's pretty cool, because that adds a whole new thing. Not only do you have first-person shooter for the people that love first-person shooting games, not only do you have RPG elements, but now you have an exploring element, where if you don't like those things, you can just explore the world and just grab and pick up things, and that's it.
So yesterday, I think everybody here was in a lobby together, and we were playing together. I got actually disconnected from that lobby, had to eat some dinner. I can't even remember why I disconnected. And then about an hour later, I jumped back in. I decided I'm just going to explore a little bit. I went to the explore mode, and it was just free roaming. I was picking up some of those. There's these little like kind of green flashing lights that you can find kind of spread out around the environment, and you hit those lights, and it gives you a kind of a small mission that. A quick voice narration, and you're off to the races. The best stuff I've picked up so far has been along those missions. I'll be doing something that, like, I have to walk across the map to, survey an area to see how many guys are in it. And I found, like, this amazing sniper rifle that I then brought into multiplayer. Robbie, you were playing multiplayer. What do you think about bringing these overpowered weapons into the multiplayer and being able to just waste people with them? You think that's a good thing, bad thing? Talk about it.
Well, when you say it like that, it definitely does come off as a very negative thing, not a very good thing.
I suppose I framed it kind of weird, but I actually enjoy the mechanic. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're going to do their best they can to balance it out. Like, when you even go into Crucible, it says level advantages are disabled, like they'll balance out, stuff like that, so it's still a fair playing field for everyone.
That was true. That's true for the one that's available all the time, but we were actually playing one that the level advantages were enabled for. That kind of special event that we were playing in yesterday. I can't remember. Do you guys remember what it was called? Lost Odyssey or
Iron
Banner.
Iron Banner.
Isn't that what I just said? Iron Banner?
That's exactly what you said.
Not even close.
Briar, the one thing with the weapons though, it's your overpowered sniper gun. How many shots did it have?
It had 3 shots.
Exactly. That's the thing. They limit you on the ammo. So like they'll make sure it's a heavy power shot, but the only problem is you'll have 3 shots with it. And
that takes out half the enemy team though.
It could, but if you don't miss.
I'd never miss.
But you see, that's how they balance it. Like they give you a very powerful weapon that might be, 1 shot, 1 kill. But on top of it, for multiplayer, first of all, you got to get that special ammo first, because you don't start out with special ammo. You got to pick those special ammo up.
No, you start off with it. I think you start off with it.
A couple shots. Yeah,
a couple shots.
I think when you pick it up, though, you got to pick up those shots. That's another thing. So, like, not only you have to find a special ammo spot, you have to grab it, and then once you get it, you only get 3 shots with it. So, like, you're then starting to choose, do I really only want 3 shots with that weapon, or do I want to get a shotgun where I pick it up, I have 12 shots, or, 8 shots? Like, then you have to start thinking which one is better for me in that situation. And that's why, like, I think it'll balance itself out, because you make a big choice that, all right, well, I have 3 shots with this powerful weapon, and plus I have to wait till every time a special ammo crate pops up.
And say you're getting blown away by snipers. Say the whole enemy team is using snipers. During the match, you can switch to another weapon. You'll not have any ammo for it. You'll have to go pick up ammo. But then you can change your class up during the game to actually counter what the other team is doing, which I think is wonderful. I think it's a great idea.
The one thing I like is if you guys saw the hunter classes. Well, I mean, I don't know if whenever you guys want to start talking about like the classes and stuff, the different classes, we could do that if you want.
Well, let's do it. I mean, I want to talk a lot about multiplayer. I definitely want to talk about the classes. Which classes you guys think are better for multiplayer at this point? Has anybody used multiple classes yet, or has everybody just leveled up 1 class so far?
I leveled up 2 classes. I did a hunter as well. I went back to do hunter.
I think the hunter is probably my favorite for multiplayer at this point.
I think those grenades is what makes it kind of sick. When you throw out the grenades, it's sort of like a defense for when you're reloading or anything. And anyone comes in that vicinity, it explodes. So like that to me is what makes it pretty cool.
I also like his special better than everybody else's. The golden gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, everybody else has kind of like an area explosion. Of effect.
Yeah.
But the golden gun, you can one-shot guys from across the map if you're relatively accurate. And the hit detection on that game seems to be pretty forgiving.
Yeah. It's somewhat forgiving. I think that 1 shot, though, like I still think the Nova Bomb, because like I finally got my first 5 kills with Nova Bomb.
5 kills!
And
look at the E-penis on this guy.
The whole team... Thank you. The whole team grouped up to try to capture the flag, and I threw it. But I'm gonna admit though, I'll admit to it. I only saw one person there, and it so happened to say 5 kills, but I'll take it. It's like, I still think that if you have a group of people in the area, it's probably the most powerful, but the problem is it's easy to miss with that.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
That's the thing with that. It's easy to miss. So,
Beastly, did you get into Crucible at all?
Yeah, I played in the Crucible, and I was playing around with I played around with 2 different guns, and I think I was having issues with the guns I was using because the hit detection was a little off for me, and so I got a little frustrated, and I said, damn it, I'm going to go explore.
Were you missing what you thought you should be hitting, or were you getting killed too quickly?
A little bit of both, you know. I was doing a little bit of Call of Duty initially, then I went straight to Destiny, and
that's a big difference.
Of course it's a huge difference, and anyone who's played the 2 know. And so when I was in the multiplayer, I was having a little bit harder of a time because I was used to playing the NPCs, going against NPCs, and the human component is vastly different. As you turn, especially being new, you're new to a map, you're dead. So I figured I'd go back out in the world, find some more weapons, hone my skills. I'm still looking for that sniper rifle. Kate has an awesome sniper rifle. Yeah. But back to the earlier point you made about the degree of weapons and how many you think they're going to have. I think they'll probably end up having more on this game than they did in Borderlands, just for the simple fact that there's so many more people playing and we can all interact. I don't think there'll be, you know, a smaller degree of weapons, because if they do that, everybody will have 2 or 3 of the best weapons, because all you got to do is find it and potentially trade it off to someone else. I think that it's going to be randomly generated and continue to be randomly generated, and it'll always be different. And through whatever system or means that they're using to keep them balanced, everybody will have something different. Because there's just so many people. It's too many people to keep tallies on. They're not going to have a limited amount of really good weapons, because if they do that, then everybody will, over time, have that weapon. What do you got? Oh, I have the same thing. I think they want to keep it mixed up and keep, you know, like Not Too Nerdy said, keep it a little bit different, fine tweaks to each weapon to make each one different than the next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a level 8 on my Titan right now, and he or she is got all red armor, because there's this one set of red armor that looks kind of regal. I think it's got gold, emblems on it, and it's by far the best armor I've found. And I've got a helmet that matches the chest plate, and I think I got the gauntlets for it too. And I've been playing multiplayer in the Crucible, and I keep finding people who are dressed head to toe in the exact same armor as me. So I'm wondering, is this really random, or is this, maybe just because it's the beta, they kind of topped out at how good the stuff could be. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that aspect of it, because if it really is, I'm just looking for the specific thing all the time, and once you have it, there's no real reason to play the single player anymore aside from the story. I'll be a little bit disappointed. I would like it to kind of keep going, because I really like how the fact that I got to play the single player to get better shit for the multiplayer. I think that's awesome. I keep calling it single player and multiplayer. I really got to change to Crucible and campaign. Yeah.
Right now, if you see that, first of all, the cap for most things is level 20, right? When you're looking at the beta, if you look at level 20, how much money you need for some of this stuff, you're going to be playing for a while and looking for a while. So that's a good thing, because level 20 is the first initial cap that they're probably going to have. But for after DLC or something, they're going to increase the cap or something like that. So you can only imagine how much you're going to have to play the single player and other aspects of the game in order to get that. Yeah. That's the thing. So I don't know if that's something you should really be worried about, because I think that overall you'll get a lot of things, because I think Bungie is one developer you can actually trust to do that, because they know what it takes for people to stick with the game. They know what people want in the game, so they're going to keep bringing it out. So.
Yeah. It's funny, because all of my concerns with this game are concerns that won't be an issue until I'm 6 months in with this game or a year into this game. Is it going to keep giving? Is it going to keep giving? That's all I'm concerned about. I don't care about DLC. Give me all the DLC. I'm buying it for the PlayStation 4. I'm buying the $148 edition because I want that stupid little Peter Dinklage floating around. I want all the extra content. I want the DLC. I already know I'm in love with this game. I fell in love with this game a month ago when I was playing the alpha, and the beta has shown me that, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's a game I can sink my teeth into. I can play the multiplayer. I don't think it's going to replace Call of Duty for me as far as multiplayer goes. It'll be there, but Call of Duty, to me, offers an excitement and a fast action pace that I don't think Destiny is really going to offer. you're not going to get 5-man feeds too often in Destiny. You know, you're more unless you get heavy weapons. Heavy weapons. Whenever I see that green little or the purple ammo pop up, I'm all over that thing like flies on shit because like instantly I am mowing down like the entire enemy team with the Gatling gun or the heavy machine gun. That thing is so powerful.
But for what Bungie was talking about, like it sounds like they're planning for like when a game comes out, they're planning to have like custom matches. So you could customize what style of weapons you have. So if you want all special weapons or all heavy weapons, you do that in a match. That's what I'm thinking. If it's all heavy weapons, you just became like Unreal Tournament pretty much.
That'd be cool. I would even go with like maybe less health on the players. I don't know. I like the skill factor of actually having to put a lot of bullets into somebody before they do you. But when you run into a group of 2 or 3 guys, it's very, very difficult to win that fight unless you have like a special ability ready to go. Which is something I like about Call of Duty.
I just feel like after playing this now, I put in probably 6 hours in the game. This is probably the first game that I've seen that's able to mesh so many good games together seamlessly and have its own identity. Usually when this happens, you're like, this is a knockoff or a clone. This game feels like the good parts of Halo. It feels like the good parts of Call of Duty. It feels like the good parts of Battlefield, the good parts of Borderlands. It's open. You got RPG elements. You can play the game by yourself. You can play the game with friends during doing a campaign. You can play against human players. It just has a little bit of everything in it, and it's super ambitious. And I just feel like if this is the success that I think that it's going to be, this will be the game that's talked about for years to come.
Yeah, I agree with you, Beastly. It blends so many great things so well. It does. It feels like there's something there for everybody. The only thing I could think of that would really turn somebody off is that futuristic setting. But even that, because like of this like apocalypse that they have, there's kind of this retro feel to it. It almost reminds me of those old cartoons. I can't remember the name of it anymore, but it's like it went way into the future. What's that? Care Bears? They went so far into the future, but then they got pulled back. So, I don't know. I love the armor. I love collecting. I love the multiplayer. I love just being able to explore. Me and Not Too Nerdy were playing. Me, Robbie, and Not Too Nerdy were playing. And Robbie's doing missions. Not Too Nerdy is like, I don't know, he's like a spastic kid with ADD. He's just all over the place.
Everywhere in the map.
Like bouncing off the walls and stuff. It was just so much fun. We're all in the same fire team. So, we're talking, but we're all doing our own thing and having a blast. It was really fun. I was live streaming that. I don't know, it's just the game is just damn fun.
The thing is, though, like, all the stuff that we saw in the game, they're still missing some elements that they're adding. Like, for example, the raid system. Like, there's supposed to be a raid system where it's going to be hundreds of players playing at doing something. Like, so it'll be like a big boss so that everyone's together doing that. So that's when the MMO, like, factor comes into the game completely, whereas, a lot of people doing it at the same time. They didn't
I was exploring on my own, and I ran across a guy who was in a mission that reminded me of a raid where the bad guys had this like drilling unit come down, and it was kind of moving around. So I just joined up with them to fight these guys, and we ended up getting like 3 gold stars for doing the mission in the time required, and getting like a ton of great loot for it. And like it was just something I ran across while I was just exploring. I thought it was fantastic. There was another one that happened during the alpha where that big crab boss just kind of randomly dropped in the middle. I'm like, oh shit! I was all alone, and this other fire team just kind of ran by. I was like, you bastards, help me!
It happened to me too. Yeah.
But the cool thing is to get like more money and stuff like that. Even if you just play Crucible, they have bounties that you could go get a bounty and you get even more money and stuff like while you're playing the game. You get certain rewards for doing the bounty, which is cool because now it gives someone an objective to do while they're online. That makes it just like Call of Duty or something where you have like those special missions like what you have to do inside a multiplayer game, and I think that's pretty cool. It adds an extra element to it.
Yeah, I like that too. That reminds me of Call of Duty's wager system.
Yeah.
That you can bet you could bet on certain activities, and you had a certain amount of time to pull it off. And if you didn't, you lost the money that you wagered. But if you made it, you doubled your money or you tripled your money or something like that. So yeah, like Beasley was saying, it's like they just kind of pulled like everything awesome out of all these other games and put them into this one mega game.
Has anybody heard of anything?
Amazing.
Anything about the number of players per server?
No, I haven't.
Go ahead.
You mean like for the whole server, for like if they have a raid or something like that? Like you mean max players? I don't think they announced any of that yet, because it seemed like right now they push more than they did for the alpha, because if I recall, I saw a bunch of people, even though there are teams of 3 playing co-ops, I saw a bunch of people on the same map as me while I'm playing. So I don't know. It seemed like there's more people now than there was in alpha, so I don't know.
On the map that you're playing?
A lot of people too.
See, I had the opposite. On the map, I think you might be right. Now that I think about it, I think I agree with you. But in the town, I see less people than I saw in the alpha.
The tower, we had like me and Corey, this kid that subscribed to me, like we were going around. We saw like 40-something people. We were walking around to see how many people we saw in the town. There was like 40-something people at the same time in the tower, and that was not like that before. So like, and that was just in like the main part. Then we just kept running around to count to see how many people were there, and we kept seeing more people spawn. So like, I think they're pushing to see how much they could do in the tower and stuff. But I have a feeling they're gonna do quite a good amount.
Oh, phone's
Hold on, I gotta
guys.
get this Domino's calling. Just kidding.
So the
It's
game
not me.
goes back down on Tuesday, right? Is that correct? For maintenance?
It comes back on. Is it
On
Tuesday or
Thursday?
Wednesday, right? 'Cause I think it's 2 days off or whatever.
I think it's the 22nd and 23rd. It's down, and it comes back on the 24th.
22nd, 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So we get
It's
it Monday.
the 21st and 22nd.
Yeah, because isn't it today's the last day for the beta, isn't it?
Yeah,
And that's off for 2 days.
Yeah, so it'll be off Monday and Tuesday and back up Wednesday.
Today's the last day. I gotta go, guys. I got a sick kid.
I'll meet you there, Briar.
The cool thing is, like I said, you can explore around and stuff. Me and Corey were going around, find different loots and like different ledges, and which is pretty cool, because also that one spot where you go underneath the ground and you see like these guys with question marks, stuff like that. We were able to distract them and work our way around it. And we found like loot crate that we both snuck there. We got like a nice sniper weapon, a whole bunch of money and stuff, because we were able to go around these guys that that can't be killed. So I thought that's pretty cool.
You told me that, not too dirty. I went and I did it.
Yeah, right. And it's finally.
Moments later, I was in that room. There's like a little building right when you start off on Earth. There's a little building kind of in front of you to the left, and there's a tunnel that goes down, and there's some really high-level guys that'll one-shot kill you. And but you can run past them. But even once you're in that room, you can't look at them. You have to make sure they can't see you. And there's some loot in there that is pretty epic.
I'm like, I got it. Wait a second. Now what do I do? I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in the room. But
I wonder, can I just keep running into that room, or does that loot never show up for me again?
it looks like once you pick up the loot, it never shows up. 'Kay, every spot that there's loot, I went back, they're gone. But I went back with someone that hasn't been there, and I said, look over here, and they saw it. So that means that like once you get it, it's gone. But another thing that I didn't discuss yet when I was exploring, we kept going everywhere, and he kept showing me different spots that he found, and there's stuff that I found. There was different Easter eggs from Halo. There's different like pictures that are written on the walls. There are pictures of Halo like games. So like different Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. We're looking for. We're trying to look for all of them. Yeah, they left Easter eggs around like tunnels and caves and stuff. And you look at the walls, there's Easter eggs everywhere. So.
I wonder if Microsoft will sue him for that. Microsoft's got to be sore about this, right?
I mean, I don't think they can sue them for it, because they're
like, how many people did they fire because of this? No, they didn't fire because of this shit.
And plus, those images, they switched it up too. They never called it Halo, but you could definitely tell like the scene looks like scenes from Halo. So.
Yeah. So the myth has always been, or the rumor has always been, that all of Bungie's games take place in the same universe. So Marathon came out for the Mac way back in the day, and then I can't remember. I'm almost positive there's another game, and then obviously Halo. And the rumor has always been that these games kind of all have taken place in one universe. And now it looks like Bungie's saying, yeah, basically this is the same universe. It's just a different time period in that universe. So we can expect to see maybe some Forerunner technology or something like that.
Yeah,
or variations of enemies.
It's pretty cool, man. I think that's awesome that they do stuff like that. But
I like it too. You know, I love games that you can really take a deep dive in. You know, I like when you can buy, you can buy the special edition. It has, like backstory and art books, and I even like in Halo, I read some of the novels. I thought that was great that the story was, the universe was fleshed out enough that I could actually delve into it deeper than the games would allow. And I definitely feel like that is something that's going to be allowable in this game, is that there's enough there to really hold my interest for a long time. And for over the period of a few games, although not too nerdy, you brought up a good point that you think that maybe there won't be a few games. You think they might pull like a World of Warcraft here, where they just keep updating the one game.
I think that they're going to keep this game for a little while. I think they're going to try to max it out for for a bunch of years. I mean, who knows if Activision's going to let them, but the way Activision gave them that money seems like they already have an engine. They're going to keep updating this engine. 'Cause I think there's more power that's going to come from this engine. I think they can keep pushing it. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if you get like an expansion later, it might give you like a new game. It might upgrade it, but it's still using the same engine. I think they're just going to work from what they have and just keep giving you expansions and stuff like that. That's the way I feel from it. I think that that's what it looks like they might do. And I think that, quite honestly, that might make them a good amount of money, if not even more, because you force people like, I'll upgrade, because that's what people think. Oh, it's only $40 or something like that for expansion. It's less than a brand new game, but in reality, that everyone's paying $40 that goes directly to them. So I think that would be the best thing for them, to be honest.
And stuff that you find in the expansion that other people don't have access to. Maybe you bring it into the Crucible, and you have an advantage in the Crucible. So that's going to motivate other people to get into the expansion as well.
Yeah, because then you got people that start over, and then there'll be people that there's ways for people that you increase the level cap every now and then. That's what you do with these expansions. You have the level cap. There's a whole bunch of new things that you could do now, new missions, and even if you start from scratch, you could go from the beginning all the way to the end. And you never stop doing something. You always have something to do. So for someone that's brand new, they feel like they have a brand new game because they have a higher level cap. They could play forever, for hours on end. So.
Yeah, I've now played through the opening arenas of this game 3 times because I did it in the alpha, which there's a couple extra things in the beta. I did it as a Warlock in the alpha, and I did it as a Titan, and I did it as a, help me out with the third one.
Hunter.
I'm now working on a Hunter, and I'm just having a great time with all of them,
Yeah. I think right now.
I'm gonna try the other 2 today.
I think Warlock is the most underpowered in beginning. I think because when I was reading up on Warlock, what Bungie's saying they're trying to do, later on Warlocks can be a lot more powerful once it levels up, like around level 15 and stuff. That's when you're going to start seeing things that only Warlock can do that the Hunter and
Titan.
I got 1 out of 2 also. 2 out of 3. But the Titan can't do either. And I think that's what you start seeing them separate more, because the classes right now seem like they're similar classes. They have different things to them, but I just feel like the Warlock is, not as powerful as the other 2. Like certain things, like the jumping ability, stuff like that, is not.
I hate the Warlock's jump. I don't like that glide ability.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
There is glitches in the game that you could expose that, and that's
but not in the Crucible, which is where I really want my character to be.
You could do it in Iron Banner. We learned that too.
Really? Okay.
Yes, sir. There's obstacles there that if you go against a wall, as long as you're pushing against a wall with anywhere, if you're flat against a surface and you're jumping with the Warlock and you double tap the X button to jump, then you're gonna glide up the height of that wall. So you can actually technically jump higher than everyone else because you glide the whole height of the wall. But you have to be along those lines, and you have to have time to do it because people will shoot you if you take too long.
So what do you guys think about the Crucible? Do you think it's... First of all, what do you guys think is the best character? We actually had several people ask questions about what do you think is the best character? There's a lot of people who haven't played the game yet. The beta's coming out for the Xbox this week, and a lot of people want to be able to join into multiplayer and start maximizing their chances to win. What do you guys think is the best multiplayer character?
See, That's hard to say because we didn't have a chance to level them too high yet. So you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Just for the beta, though. Just for the beta.
For the beta, I think it's a hunter. I think the hunter is like in between both. That hunter is still quick because I feel Titan is not as quick as a hunter, but the hunter is quick. But yet the hunter has stuff for like the bombs and stuff that it's like a defense mechanism. So you could reload, you could do certain things, and if anyone walks in that area, it explodes in them. So I think the hunter overall. Plus, they have that gun, you know, the golden gun. That's something that adds something too, and it's timed. You have that certain max weapon for a while, but that's pretty much it. I think the hunter does something that's different. I think the hunter is the best one now, but I have a feeling that's just a guess that the warlock will be better later on as well as the titan.
I think for the beta, the warlock's the worst. I think the titan is really strong, and when you're jumping in, I actually think the titan might be the best to start with. But I think once you get with the mechanics, I think the hunter actually edges out the titan. But yeah, I'd agree with you. I think the hunter is nasty. I think that golden gun is probably the difference maker for me. I really like the area of effects of the bomb things, but.
I've only played with the Warlock. I do like the grenade that the Warlock throws because it is an area of effect, and enemies walk in there and they'll die relatively quickly. But that jump, every time I try to use it to escape or anything, even NPCs destroy me before I hit the ground. It's almost like a big target flying through the sky. You're not moving fast enough, and once you get to the maximum height, it's almost like you float for a while before you come back down.
Yeah.
You can't really control your trajectory very well.
I think you can once you upgrade it. I think there's an option to upgrade so you can control it better.
Because once you jump,
I hope so.
Once you double jump, basically you float, but you press X again, you drop right away. So like you could turn off the switch, you drop. So like you could do speed drops. Like once you float, you could drop right away. So they have a button where you do that. I don't know if were you doing that before?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, because like when you're in the air, it makes you, when you double jump, it makes you float for a while. But then the minute you press X, you could drop wherever you want to. And as soon as you press X, it releases and you drop at that point, and you drop straight down quickly.
Well, that could have saved me numerous times on dubious edges that I fell off of. Trying to make it back. Go. Shit.
What is that? The Venus map where you're going around the corner near the B flag. You can go up the stairs and through the hallway, right? Or you can go around the corner and jump to that pillar.
Oh, yeah.
Like jump to the pillar and then jump over to the B flag. Yeah, canceling that jump out works really good for that.
Let me tell you something about that jump right there. So, I'll tell you a little story.
Not too nerdy, moment of truth.
There's a whole group of us playing this game, right? And it would look epic, dude. We were playing like a team. And when I say we, I don't mean me. But like everyone else on the team jumped, and we all did like a line. Everyone's in a straight line. Everyone jumped like epic formation. One person made it. Briar made it. Then the next person made it. Then here comes Spanish 911, which is me. Hits his head on the ledge, and then falls straight down off the cliff. Like I just jumped up and hit my head. Like it happened so quickly. Like I heard think, and then I fell down, and I was done. I killed myself again, dude. That's insane. It's difficult to control, man. That Iron Banner is no joke. Because it's all elevated. There's different heights to like the maps and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, it's nice. I'm glad they gave us 2 new maps. The Mars map, I really haven't gotten to play much of at all. I haven't seen that one come up in the rotation too often.
To be honest with you, I don't know if you know that Venus map, whatever.
Yeah.
Remind me a lot like a Titanfall map. Just saying, like the elements of it remind me of reminded me of Titanfall. The way you do, there's different heights to it. I feel like that was very similar to Titanfall.
One thing I'll say about the Titan is it's so with the double jump, it is so easy to get around and surprise the enemies because you have such height, and especially you can actually upgrade the double jump so you become more maneuverable, and you pop up in the strangest places with the Titan. And that's one of my favorite things about playing with the Titan, especially if you have a freaking machine gun.
The only thing with the Titan seems like a heavier character. I don't know if you noticed. I think
it's got more health too.
Yeah, it's the armor. I think it has like a bigger shield. Like it's definitely the strongest character, but also it also loses mobility because it's also the slowest character, but you could still work with it and like do some damage. So that's the thing. You could barge in places and do some damage. So
yeah, a lot of people have been asking for tips and tricks, but I don't feel like I'm qualified quite yet. I've been, like I've learned some things, like aiming down sight really isn't that effective unless you're trying to shoot all the way across the map. Really hip firing is what you want to be doing. Always aiming for the head. Always picking up, the special ammo. I hardly ever use my my assault rifle. Whatever gun is kind of the standard gun is usually the least powerful thing I could be using. And so I'm always looking for the purple ammo.
Special and the heavy. Okay, yeah. Heavy is purple and special is, what is it? Blue?
Green.
Green.
Yeah, like a sniper rifle in that game is just unbelievably powerful.
I'm going to find a sniper rifle today. Would you guys classify this game as an MMO FPS? How would you classify this game? It has so many elements. It's really hard for me to nail down what it is because I feel like the guys at Bungie, they brainstormed and said, we got to make something that really appeals to everybody. A lot of people like MMOs, and usually console players don't like them as much because they go to PCs. And so if we make like the world's best MMO, first-person shooter, with a great story, with gameplay mechanics that allow you to work with your teammates or against them, it's a win-win. But how would you guys classify this? It seems like an MMO. I haven't seen too many people together, but it is the beta. Is it an MMO to you guys? Do you guys just classify it as an FPS?
I say.
How would you describe this game?
The name I would give this game is a COOP RPG FPS.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me. No, I think it's just like, I can't say MMO yet because they didn't show the raid yet. Until they show that, then I'll say MMO. But right now, it's more co-op RPG FPS.
Yeah.
That's it. It's co-op with RPG elements and it's FPS.
Yeah, mini multiplayer online. I don't know.
It has this own crazy distinction.
Dude,
it's so weird.
That's a great idea, Briar. A lowercase m.
Yeah,
and then
there
capital
you go. Patent pending. What do you think, Robbie? How would you classify it?
Open world MMO FPS RPG. It's really got so many things blended into it. It's crazy.
Nailed it right there. So yeah, I mean, anybody else got anything they want to say about Destiny? We talked about it for 50 minutes now, but I mean, it's definitely the most exciting thing going on this month. Yeah, go ahead.
For all the viewers out there, you guys see the enthusiasm and excitement coming from the Beastly Thoughts gang. If you guys would like to play Destiny Beta on PS4, I got 2 more beta codes. The only rules are you have to be a subscriber to my channel, so if you're not, swing by my channel, hit the subscribe button, and let me know that you would like those beta codes. I'm giving them out today.
Promotion
good news
time.
for those who don't. Yes, sir. It's that Beastly Gamer right there.
This giveaway is brought to you by Pornhub.
Don't forget to use spot code BeastlyGamer at flexlight.com. All right, so let's move on. Microsoft had some layoffs this week, and it seems to have affected a lot of different departments, including the gaming department. Is this something we should be concerned about? Is this, just Microsoft's got new management? You got to expect some shakeup when you get a new CEO after you've had the same CEO for what, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And basically that CEO was the best friend of the guy who formed the company. So, I mean, you got to expect some shakeup over there, especially with what's going on with Windows 8 right now. Windows 8 is not a consumer favorite.
Well, yeah. 18,000 employees is a big hit. And no matter how you look at that, it means a lot, especially from a huge company like Microsoft. Now, what I heard was a lot of the layoffs were in their TV department.
So I've heard all sorts of things like that. Well, I've heard a lot of them came from their game development department, too.
It's the majority of it is actually from Nokia. Because here's the thing.
Nokia,
when Nokia merged with them, so they had extra employees from Nokia. Usually when a company merges, first of all, there's supposed to be layoffs. They never did layoff when they merged. So that's the majority of them is from the layoffs that they never did. They should have done right away because that's what most companies do. They don't wait. They do it right away, but Microsoft has money, so they assume, well, we're going to do great in Nokia, which, by the way, Windows phones is not even close to Android or iOS, so that's the reason why they're not doing well there. And then the other department that affected was just the Xbox entertainment part, the TV division for it. That's it. So that's all it affected for Xbox. There's nothing else, no game. It was only the entertainment studios. So it actually didn't affect anything in the games. But still, as we all know, the entertainment part didn't do too well. A lot of people didn't like the entertainment features for it. But they did announce that all the big ones like Halo, the TV series is still going to be there. Quantum Break is still going to be there as well. So none of those were affected, but yet they got rid of everything else. What were you saying?
Yeah, they're cutting 5,500 employees from their entertainment studios, and the remainder are from the Nokia division. So you're absolutely right. But still, 55. I guess all that TV. You're fired.
Yeah,
everybody wants all that TV.
As soon as they decided that the Kinect is the main focal point. I mean, even though that they say Kinect is what they're focusing on, if this doesn't say that they're not focusing on that anymore, I don't know what will, because it shows you that they need to lay people off because that's not going to be their focal point, which is good for gamers because that means they're going to go back to gaming, right? So I guess that's a good thing because that means they're going to focus more on gaming. But at the same time, it's never good when people lose their jobs, which is
never good.
No.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it. But I mean, that happens to every company, and it's going to happen more and more when the company isn't doing well, like Nokia part of it, the phone part. Then you have to make layoffs because they have to get a better team there, a more focused team, and that's it. That's all they could do. I mean,
do you guys think that Microsoft has changed their whole approach now from this all-in-one box? Do you think that in the coming months and possibly year they're going to go to promoting themselves as predominantly a video game console again that does other stuff rather than this believed hyped thing of this all-in-one box that controls everything? I think that's a little bit of where they went wrong as well. Now
I think they did that at E3, Beasley. I think they really focused on the games. We didn't see anything about like connecting the Xbox to your cable box. They were game focused at E3. I think that's what they're going to do.
You think it'll be more? You think it's more of a silent death of that aspect of the Xbox One than them actually coming out and saying, "Hey, look, all that stuff is behind us now. We're going to focus just on the games and leave it at that."
Yeah, I don't think anybody's buying an Xbox One, especially when it was $600 or $500 to play Hulu or Netflix. You could buy $30 or $50 devices that'll do that. I think that was very flawed from the beginning. So they need to focus on games. I think that's what they're doing this year. The Xbox division is under new management. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. He knows what consumers want. He took the Kinect out. He doubled the sales of the Microsoft of the Xbox One as soon as he did that.
It's been doubling month over month. Month over month it's been doubling.
I have one thing to say about that part. I don't want to be biased on this part, but the doubling the sales thing, I keep hearing that, but what people forget, it doubled the sales in the month before. They announced that the Xbox One is going to be $400 a month before. People stopped buying it. So that doubling doesn't count because it doubled in a month and no one was buying the console because they knew it was going to be $400. Yeah. That's going to drive me crazy. You have to look at, for people, I always say you have to look at the month before that month and see the difference.
Let me just say this, Natsunari. You are absolutely the voice of reason. You're the realist.
I just get really excited. That's why they announced it like that. They didn't come out with numbers. They announced that we doubled the sales. For a reason they announced it because they didn't want to say that because
the MPD did come out with numbers though.
Yeah. And the MPD showed that it was about 20,000 more sales from the month before that. So they only improved 20,000 on their
price drop.
Like before the price dropped. I mean, 2 months before the price dropped, they only sold 20,000 more pace than they did. So like that was the difference in copies or whatever. So it's like really the
fact that they reduced the price and they got rid of the Kinect, I think, does show that they are somewhat in tune with what their customers want, though. And the PS4 is still outselling them, no matter what. But the Xbox One, they are appealing to people, and I think that they are on the right track as far as I'm concerned.
they're on the right track, but I'm also kind of worried too because like I see and like I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried in a way that I don't know. The reason why I'm worried is because without the Kinect, right now, like you're looking at just the consoles itself for the same price. I feel like they are the ones that need to be a little bit less money because that's how you look at it. Kinect, since it's, I mean, at the Xbox One, because you say, well, it's not as powerful. Whether it's 1% difference or 50% or 500, whatever the power is of it, we know that it's not the same power because what's inside of it. The GPU is different. That's the first thing. So a lot of consumers see it and they say, well, even if it's $400, the same price as the other one, why would I pay something that's less, for the same price?
They got to get the games. They got to
get the games. It's the only reason.
Game exclusives. That's what I'm saying. So like now, that's the thing though. I feel like if they push themselves, even if it's $350, that would have jump-started them until even more games came. You know what I mean? I think that would have completely jump-started them. Or even if they had a bundle that was with the Kinect that dropped. If they dropped to $400 or $450 or whatever with the Kinect, then it shows people, oh, okay, well, we have that SKU that's lowered, and we also have a $350 one without the Kinect that's lowered. And now that shows like a better value for the consumer. And then because that's what people are doing. People aren't buying a PS4 right now for the actual games for the PS4. People are buying it for multi-plats because there is no real games for PS4 right now. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like, a lot of people aren't buying it. People are buying it in the future. Like, oh, I know the exclusives are coming to the PS4. You know what I mean? I wish that Microsoft did the same thing because then it could put that question mark in someone's head. Should I get the Xbox One? Because I know the games are coming to there too. And now that it's a lower price of PS4, it's gonna make me think about it.
Well, the thing is, you can constitute paying a lower price if you know you're getting something that's a lower quality than something else. Yeah. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense. If you're paying $350 and you know that the Xbox One isn't as powerful as the PS4, you feel better paying $350, knowing that if you do get a multi-plat, you might suffer a little bit in the frame rate or resolution, but you get what you pay for. Yeah. And so a lot of people out there, they go to the store, they see them both at the same price, and they're like, well, if I get the Xbox One, I'd want the exclusives, but if it's multi-plats, I'm not really getting what I pay for because I'm paying the same amount as I would with the PS4. Makes perfect sense, but I think that in order for Microsoft to combat that, I think they did a really good job at E3 this year. They got to have great exclusives and make people say, no matter what, I got to play that game.
Yeah, but from this 6-month span or whatever, from when they started to where they are now, they made huge improvements. They literally, I don't want to say 180, but you know what I mean. They just went completely from one spot and where they are now, it's a fast improvement. They did it so quickly, the improvement. So I think that's the biggest thing to take out of it, that they have so much time to continue, but at the same time they got to keep improving, and those games have to come out. Those games where that you have to go there, because that Destiny thing didn't sound like it was a big thing, but now that it might be a big thing, if this game turns out to do really well, the fact that Sony has exclusive for a whole year might be another killer there, because it didn't seem like a big thing at first, because no one knew what to expect from Destiny.
Nobody knew what the hell Destiny was. Yeah. Bungie was so quiet about it.
And now all of a sudden people got a chance to play it, and it got all this hype, and it's living up to the hype so far. I mean, even if it doesn't live up to the hype, once people buy it, people are still going to buy it day one. That's the thing. Are they going to buy it?
Effects. The hype is so big that it sells 4 million copies, and then everybody's kind of pissed about it afterward.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still, if it sells 4 million copies, where's it going to sell it for? Is it going to sell for PS4? Is it, because that's the thing. Then that just got a lot of sales for them again. So.
Yeah, I'm going to download the Xbox One version this week. I know that the Xbox One version, the beta, is going to be 900 and something p as opposed to the PS4's 1080p, but when the game's actually released, it will be 1080p. Both consoles will be 1080p. Bungie's actually talked about how they're able to use that 10% of the
Xbox. I was looking at that, and it's so confusing because they didn't say it's guaranteed. They said that they're really aiming for that. That's the thing that's scaring me, because I think they spoke too soon. They shouldn't have said 1080p yet. They should have said, we're trying to make it, just left it with the original quote that they said, because they said that we're trying to make it the same on all consoles. That's what they should have said. Shouldn't have specified it, because now that they said that they guarantee it's going to be 1080p, I was looking at the quotes from it now, the more recent ones, they keep saying that they're aiming to push for 1080p, meaning that they're having difficulties to push it to 1080p, which for them, they should have never announced 1080p, because now it's going to be a whole nother resolution thing again for no reason. Because because if you saw the PS3 version of the game, like, that's pretty good too. You know what I mean? So
it does look good. It looks shockingly good. Yeah,
it's going to be a good game no matter where you're on, but the problem is now this whole resolution thing is going to come back again. Now we're going to have the same thing if it's not 1080p. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't think they should announce the resolution yet. But that's
watch for my side-by-side pixel counting video coming soon.
Using a magnifying glass?
That's all the P's so you can see.
That's right. I got tons of P's over here.
Where are all my P's? Missing 180 P's on that Xbox One version.
All right, so Robbie, you were pretty interested in this white PS4 unbundled Europe-only PS4. Now, not too nerdy. I know you pre-ordered the Destiny bundle white PS4, as did I. Unfortunately, I canceled that pre-order because I wanted the Destiny Ghost Edition, and you couldn't get the two of them combined. So I made a decision to go with the Destiny Ghost Edition. What do you guys think about this? You know, I know that Beastly Gamer's kind of upset. You know, he feels like the black PS4 is kind of getting kicked, and it's not right. You know.
I mean, we didn't have this conversation when they announced the black PS4. Come on now. I want equality here.
I think it's racist that they have the all-American PS4. Yeah, that's what they call it, the white PS4. But anyway, the thing is just no, but the PS4, the white PS4 just looks cool. You know, like I figured I'd get that. I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on that. To be honest with you, I pre-ordered both, the edition that you got and also that one. And one of them I'm going to cancel at the last minute. I don't know which one it is yet. I still want the white PS4, but I'm really thinking, do I really want that? Because I'm going to have to go through the hassle of selling this PS4, which shouldn't be too hard. But I'm thinking that, I don't know yet. You know, unless like a relative wants to buy it, then that'll be a lot easier, and then I don't have to worry about it. But I'm not 100% sure on it. So, because I was thinking once I get the white PS4, right away I'm going to put 1 terabyte inside of it. So since I'm going to start over, I might as well just do the terabyte and start from scratch with a brand new PS4. But I have no idea what I'm going to do yet. But I have both.
I just bought Not Too Nerdy as a hybrid drive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hybrid drives? Yeah. How many gigabytes? Or terabytes?
It's a 1 terabyte hybrid drive. I think it's got 64 gigabytes of flash memory on it.
That's cool.
So I've looked a little bit, and people say it is compatible with the PlayStation 4, and if you play the same game often, it can make a pretty big difference in load times.
Yeah, because that's how it flashes like certain memory, so like it stores certain memory in the flash part, which is pretty cool. The hybrids are pretty good. It's not like obviously not as quick as SSD, but like
but getting an SSD at that, that's like a $500 drive. Getting a 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah, I mean they're on sale sometimes, but on a Newegg. But I see the lowest I seen it was $380 for 1 terabyte.
It's hard to justify buying a hard drive for a console, and it's like the same price, the hard drive and the console. You know, it's like it's hard to justify. The hybrid drive was $100. Actually, it was a little less than $100. So I'm hoping, especially since I play so much Call of Duty and I'll be playing a lot of Destiny, I'm hoping that it makes a difference in just, you know, like when I'm loading up the boot screen, it's just going to load a little bit faster. So that kind of stuff is just going to go a little bit faster. And when I'm streaming and like I'm watching Destiny load over and over again, you know, maybe that kind of stuff will be faster.
It's from what I heard, it's not going to be like in-game speed for loading screen. It's going to be like to boot up the game. It's going to be the difference in time. So like,
well, also if you're always playing the same map, eventually that map will end up on the hybrid drive.
Hopefully, I want to see the hybrid. You gotta definitely do a video on that. Cause I'm curious with the hybrid too, because like I've never, I seen it sometimes, but like I either seen with the hard drive or see SSD. Like I really don't see the hybrid as much, so I'm kind of curious to definitely make a video on that. I'll definitely.
I want to go with SSD. I want to go with an SSD, but I can't justify the price. Like I've got SSD in my computer, and it makes all the sense in the world because the thing boots quick as hell, and you know Final Cut pops up quick as hell. All of these things just are much faster, and if you actually put media on there to edit, I mean it renders so much faster because it's not constantly pulling that right into the hard drive. So all of that stuff makes a lot of sense, but on the console it's like.
But for me, like, it's all computer. I wouldn't put SSD in there, like, because for me, I really don't care about the space, to be honest with you, that much. I just delete it. Anytime it's full, I just delete a game I haven't played in a while because I don't constantly play every game over and over again, so I just delete it and just get my space back. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, you can always re-download it.
Yeah, so, I mean...
And you literally are sitting on the backbone of the internet over there.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
So it was kind of a slow news week, guys. Does anybody else have any news stories they want to talk about? I got a bunch of questions for you.
I just wanted to talk about that the white PS4 since no one asked me. I guess it's a black thing. The white PS4.
It is. It is a black thing.
Yeah. I'm really on the fence about it, right? I think it's a beautiful system.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in getting it because of Kate. Kate that's the one she wants. Go figure.
She does.
Yeah. And so the thing is, at the end of this month, another game's coming out that we both want to play quite badly. The Last of Us on PS4.
Last of Us,
and
never heard of it.
Yeah, I know it's some indie game. I think they got a Kickstarter too.
Yeah.
No, they have a team of 4, and one of them's one's in a wheelchair. But I was thinking of just getting another PS4. For that, if I do that, get her a PS4 for The Last of Us, 2 copies of The Last of Us, then the white PS4 would be out. And so I'm kind of torn there. I guess I got to see exactly how bad she wants that. But if she wants the white PS4 with Destiny, I'll just wait and get it. But more than likely, the way she's talking about playing The Last of Us, I'll end up getting 2 probably at the end of this month.
Yeah, I also want 2 PS4s. I want one for my office where I do all my gameplay recording, but I also want one for downstairs, on the big screen with the couch, and the kids play on that TV, and it's more of a kind of casual environment. And I'd like another next generation console for that. I was actually planning on getting an Xbox One for down there, but Destiny has got me hooked right now. Titanfall was the reason I was going to get an Xbox One, but I haven't been playing that as much as I hoped.
Well, if I get another PS4, if I get a PS4 for the bedroom, it'll just be to do nasty stuff on Twitch. But you guys want to go ahead and talk about some other news this week?
That got dirty. That got dirty fast.
I was thinking that too.
I had a question about how do you guys feel about exclusives, like coming to like GameStop? How do you feel because
exclusive DLC kind of stuff?
Like exclusive DLC that you can only get at GameStop. GameStop's talk about that, like sort of like what Sony just did. People were feeling that, well, GameStop announced it after what Sony did with Destiny, that they might do something similar where they have something that you can only get at GameStop. Do you think this is potentially bad for the industry?
I think this is the only way that GameStop survives, is if they start offering something you can't get anywhere else. It doesn't make me particularly happy that I have to go to GameStop instead of ordering it on Amazon or buying it, the digital copy. But, I see why they're doing it. I definitely can understand. They're also planning on paying developers to do it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be, they're going to pay developers to give them exclusive content, exclusive DLC.
It doesn't get me psyched, but I definitely understand why.
It's probably going to open up the gates, though. Okay, they do it. Amazon's going to do it. You're going to see other companies do the same thing. And Amazon's going to do it. Walmart's going to do it. When they do that, then what do you do?
Because that's the deal with Blu-rays right now, right? It's if you want the special edition of the Transformers 3 Blu-ray, right? I don't know this specifically. I'm just picking a name out of the hat. But say you want the special edition. You want the all-encompassing edition. You're going to have to go to Walmart and buy their edition because it comes with the plastic Optimus Prime head. Then you're going to have to go to Target because it comes with the making of. And then you're going to have to go to Best Buy because it comes with the steel book. What they do is they split up these special editions, so no one special edition has everything. That way each retailer has something that they can advertise as exclusive. That currently is happening in the Blu-ray market. And people are pissed about it because as a fan of Transformers 3, because it was the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh God!
I want the ultimate edition of that movie, so I can display it for all time to tell people how much I love Transformers 3.
The funny thing is, though, can you imagine what if GameStop had an exclusive for Destiny?
Yeah.
So what's your goal? That you have to get go to GameStop, buy the PS4 version, so you have the exclusive for the PS4 and the GameStop exclusive, and you have that content.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Is you're going to be, if you really want everything, you're going to have to buy the game off of Amazon, you're going to have to buy the game at Walmart, and you're going to have to buy the game at GameStop, because all three of them are going to have exclusive content that you can't get, or you're going to have a lot of friends that are willing to trade some codes with you.
But here's the problem, though. If it's exclusive content and it has anything to do with multiplayer or anything like that, you're going to be divided even more. Remember how you used to talk about how you don't like the exclusive content for Call of Duty? Now imagine
separating the community. Yeah,
it's separated even more because of that. So like, forget about what the developers are doing on top of it. Now you're talking about stores doing the same thing. You're going to separate community even more than you did before.
As long as my example with Call of Duty, though, was different, because my problem with the Call of Duty DLC is specific to this year and maybe next year, in that the player base for that game is split up between 4 systems: the Xbox 360, the PS3, the PS4, and the Xbox One. And those groups on each system are much smaller than they were in the old days, in Black Ops 2 days, where it was just split between Xbox 360 and PS3, and really it was primarily on the 360. So when you bought DLC and you segregated that audience, it was a much bigger audience to segregate. But now, since that audience is spread on much more platforms, the audience to start with on each platform is smaller, so segregating those into smaller groups, they just keep getting smaller and smaller as the DLC comes out. With Destiny, I don't think that's as big an issue, because what's the DLC going to be? It's going to be mostly single-player stuff, right? It's going to be mostly campaign stuff. So the game is going to come out. It's going to be big. And even if you don't, it's not so necessary to have a great connection on the campaign stuff as it is in Call of Duty's multiplayer, which is really where my issue comes from. So I don't know. Like, I don't see it as being as big an issue for, if they start doing that with Call of Duty, I would get more upset than with Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to. GameStop's always been known for Call of Duty. GameStop always does stuff for Call of Duty. That's why I mean, like, that's going to be the game, if anything. That's going to be the one they're going to do first. But
it's always like gun DLC. It's like you can get special camo, or you can get a special hat.
Stuff, yeah.
You know, so it's not actually segregating the community. It's not like if you go to GameStop, you're the only people who are going to get Nuketown for Black Ops 2.
But they're talking about, when they're paying developers, what the announcer was, they're talking about get only maps, and like you get certain levels that you can't get anywhere else. They're talking about actual levels in the game and maps. That's what the whole article is about. The GameStop
I'm not happy about that.
I can hear it now. Not too nerdy. BriarRabbit, Robbie, where'd you go? Oh, you can't come, Beastly. We got these maps in the
game. You didn't pre-order at Fry's?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man.
I pre-ordered at McDonald's. I got the special Fry Guy package. I'm shooting Happy Meals out of my M16. Anybody got anything they'd like to talk about?
I just want to end that story by saying, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. If too many of these companies get into this exclusive DLC, it will end up being bad. It'll be a mishmash of too much. It'll just become cluttered, and it'll lose its focal point. It'll be everybody trying to reach in and grab a piece of the pie, and I don't think that's good for the industry. GameStop is kind of, people love to hate GameStop, but they do serve a purpose. As of right now, I think in the future, it's probably going to be dim for the company. But if more companies start to do this exclusive DLC, I think it'll be probably bad for the gamers in general.
Well, just to remind you guys something, you remember how the video game crashed the video game industry crashed in the first place. All these companies started making their own consoles, like Sears and all of them made their own consoles, and it crashed the market because people didn't know where to get it from. Some people got it from one place, another person got it from another place, and then all of a sudden that was it. People lost interest in getting certain things, and that's how it crashed in the first place. But not to say it's going to happen now, because we're talking about content, but who's to say that it won't start out with content and there's going to be other things, like just the game itself? What if it's just a GameStop game itself, and they continue doing stuff like GameStop done this before. It's not the first time GameStop done it. They had what was it? Wasn't it Xenoblade or something that wasn't there a certain edition that was only GameStop edition? I forgot what game it was, but they only had it for GameStop and like
Burger King made their own game.
Burger King.
Yeah, three of them.
Yeah.
Creepy King.
Yeah, the king, Red. The Sneak King.
Sneak King, yeah, Creepy King.
He's like, when he walked, he's like,
I got a copy. As soon as I found out they were making a Sneaky King game, I was in line at Burger King.
It's a creepy game. He like his face and he does a little tiptoe thing. It's so funny, man. Oh.
All right, so I'm not really this Crytek stuff. What's going on here?
Well, Crytek is fucking up. For the people who don't know,
they're the guys who make what game?
The Cry engine. They created that. They made all the Crysis games. They made Rise, Son of Rome for the Xbox One.
Oh, they made that game? I didn't know that.
And there's been rumor and speculation out there in the field about Crytek employees not being paid. And over 100 employees have walked out, supposedly due to lack of compensation for their efforts. And they were behind the new Homefront 2 game. And now the head designer of that game has also left the studio, citing lack of pay, not getting paid. So it seems that the company, I don't know what the situation is, but everybody over at Crytek is evidently leaving that studio because there's no money floating around. I don't know if Rise did that bad. I know they were in talks with Microsoft about doing a part 2, and then Microsoft backed out and said no. Up until now, I thought Crytek was really doing well, with their engine, with the Crysis franchise, which I gotta say has died down, especially since the last 2 games. And with Rise, Son of Rome, which was like a showpiece for the Xbox One, you would think that the company was making buku bucks, but these guys are leaving, walking out left and right, and somebody else just left too. The lead graphics engineer left the company. This is breaking news, to go work on the new Doom game. And so that company, I don't know what they're going to do. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Who wants to go first?
You do.
Oh, cool. Alright, so the global sales for Rise, Son of Rome was still less than 1 million. It was like 0.92, so it was less than 1 million copies sold. So that just shows right there that even though that was out for the Xbox One, it still didn't do what they expected it to do. And the problem with Crytek, I think that, to be honest with you, they're like Epic Games. I think they should just stop and just make game engine, because like their game engines obviously look very, very pretty, very detailed, but the gameplay is lacking. It's always been like that. They stopped making good Crysis 2, and that was it.
Crysis 3?
I didn't like Crysis 3 is garbage. Like I think they focused too much on the way it looked, and they forgot about gameplay, and the gameplay was bad. And like Rise, the same thing. Rise looked great, right? But the gameplay sucked. They didn't even have enough time to make more than one character. They made the same couple characters and it repeated over and over and over again. And that's just the way it is. Like it's like tech demos. When you look at them, they're like tech demos. All their games are tech demos. And I think that they should just focus on the game engine and continue selling their game engine. That's it. Like I think that their time as a game developer is done. That's my opinion. Unless they come out with something that's going to change that. But you can see from the past games that they've done, like I don't think any of them were great on gameplay itself. It was more about the way it looked, and I don't think anyone can argue to say that their games don't look good. Their games look good.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just the fact is that the gameplay was it fun,
Who else is using their Cry engine? I mean, I don't know too many other developers who utilized it.
I want to see. I know that they sell it,
doesn't it? The Witcher does.
Yeah, I know there's other companies that do it. They sell that. It's just like the same way as they do Unreal, like for Epic did that.
Yeah, I want to say it's actually a pretty popular game engine, but I bet it's less popular right now.
No,
Unreal. It's less popular.
Is it going to be supported next year or what?
I'm trying to see. It won't even list all the games that use that. Oh, let's see. the CryEngine 1, Far Cry used that. All the Far Cry games.
Far Cry, yeah.
CryEngine 2, Crysis used that. Blah blah blah. CryEngine 3 is the one we gotta look at. Enemy Front uses that. We got ArcAge use that game. Cable 2. These are games that are not available yet. They're not like out yet. That's why. Mech Warrior Online uses that. And Resistance and Liberation. That's not.
Not filling me with confidence.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. State of Decay uses that.
State of Decay, I've heard of at least.
Yeah, State of Decay, they use that. That's one from Microsoft Studios. They use that. And that's pretty much it. The fourth generation of CryEngine, Arena of Fate used that. Battlecry uses that. Evolve is using that. That's another one that's using the CryEngine. And that's right. A big one coming out. So Evolve is one. Homefront, The Revolution, Human Element. Oh, there's a lot of them using the fourth engine. Star Citizen. And that's it. And Rise, Son of Rome was the one that used that as well. So
Star Citizen looks stunning.
That might be why they haven't announced, financial woes, because games like Evolve haven't hit the shelves yet, and everybody's, really excited about that. So they might be walking around the office telling their employees, "Shh, just hold on for a few more months."
Get royalties for the game sold, though, do they?
Wait, what?
Do they get royalties for the game sales? Or
you got the license. So I don't know how much a license is for this, but the CryEngine 3, which they have, this is the fourth iteration of it. The CryEngine 3 costs $1.2 million just for a license.
But then once you buy that, you make your game, you don't have to pay them based on your sales, right?
No, it's from what I understand, it's just you get the license royalty, and that's it. Once you get the license, you pay out the license, that's it. But, like, CryEngine 3 was 1.2, so I'm assuming this has to be more than that. So it's, for each thing. So it's not like a huge amount of money you get, but you get some money from that. And there's more games that use CryEngine 4 than there was to use the third generation of it. But obviously more people go to Unreal. So.
Unreal Engine, they get residuals, though. That's a part of their contract. When you use the Unreal Engine, they get residuals off the sales of that game.
Oh, really?
Okay. Depends.
Yeah, Unreal does.
There's more than one contract. If you want straight royalty, you could buy off the license. So it depends how you do it. You get it. It depends what the agreement is for. Because they do per game basis, like they do for each game on the basis of it. So they have a relationship with the developer. It might be different for someone else. So
it could be that if these games that are coming out that were built on CryEngine 4 sell really well, it may be that Crytek actually gets themselves out of trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Let's
I don't know, because Homefront, I was never a huge fan of that.
That game sucked. It's got a lot of apologies for it now, but that game sucked when it came out.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's going to be their savior. I don't know about that. That just might just better.
This is by the developers, too. It's not by the developers who made the first Homefront. So, really, what is there to go off besides the name?
Yeah.
Evolve looks like
I actually like Homefront, guys. I actually like that game.
Well, you're crazy.
Believe it or not.
I like it too.
We all know this, okay? I like the story. I like the gameplay. I just think the graphics
was cool,
and
yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
It looked like I just think that it looked like a PS2 game. But other than that, I thought if they remade it or something, it would have sold really good. But just the visual aesthetic, seeing the game out the gate, you're like, nah, this isn't a PS3 or Xbox 360 game. But I like the story. I like what it had to offer as far as story and character goes. But I'm crazy.
I like the setup for the story. Once I actually started playing with it, I kind of,
Dude, like, to be honest with you, like, I thought it was an awesome looking game. I thought it was pretty cool. And then, like, when I was playing my cousin, no, seriously, I was playing my cousin, and then next thing I know, he handed me a PlayStation 3 controller. I thought we were playing on a 64. I thought it was Nintendo 64, and come to find out, it's a PS3 game, and I'm like, wow,
this is the best SNES game ever.
Like, how did Nintendo do this?
All right, is that it for news today? We got anything else we want to talk about for news today?
I want to ask you guys, are any of you guys excited at all? Okay, right now we're in the Destiny beta till what, the 28th?
Yeah, something like that.
Are any of you guys excited about The Last of Us on PS4 at all? Now,
I will
they
get
just
excited
recently,
with Destiny. I stopped playing Destiny. It is a remake. I played it the first time
29th.
around. What?
Yeah,
I know, but it's a
Tomb Raider
remake.
2, that's what I'm asking.
I know, but I wasn't super excited about Tomb Raider coming out either. I like that game a lot, and I like Last of Us a lot, but it's not like I feel the same way about the Halo Master Chief Collection. I played these games before, so it's not like I'm hyped up like I am for Evolve or Destiny or Tom Clancy's next game or whatever. Like, these are new games. These are new experiences for me. Last of Us, I already had that experience. Yes, this will be more of that.
You never
exactly
played
more
it
of that.
online, Briar. That's a whole new experience for you.
I feel like this is going to be the first game in a while that I'm buying just for multiplayer. Minus Titanfall, but really
That's what I'm saying, the multiplayer, Dave.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to spend maybe 15 minutes of the story campaign just to see, it does look different. Okay, now I'm going to multiplayer. So, I feel like that's what I'm going to end up doing. So, excitement. I mean, I like the multiplayer, and I feel like it's a fresh thing. So, especially since there's not that many games right now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people playing the multiplayer. So, that's what I'm excited about. I feel like there's going to be even more people than there were on the PS3 at the time when it first came out, because it was at a weird timing for when The Last of Us first came out, and when people got word of how good it was, more and more people went, but by then people stopped playing multiplayer, so it was up and down with the community for multiplayer. So I feel like it's gonna be it's gonna be refreshed, and everyone's gonna be excited for multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well,
that's
Naughty
why
Dog, they said in an interview with GameSpot that they're heavily considering new multiplayer DLC now because of this new audience. So hopefully they do more, but with all the DLC that comes with the game, it's going to be so fresh to me. That's the thing I'm excited about the most after Destiny beta, of course.
You see, the funny thing
I
is,
just wanted your thoughts on it.
when they say they're excited for new DLC, that means that they already made it and you're just waiting to release it so you can make more money. Because remember, the game is $10 cheaper, so therefore it's gonna be a $10 DLC, so they can get that money right back. Right. So
I don't know. Was it when it was released for the PS3? Did you have to pay $10 extra to play the multiplayer? What was the deal with that? I can't remember that.
Yeah.
You had to buy an online pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was the only
sucked.
one. I didn't have to buy anything though. I just got into multiplayer right away, and played.
I think the thing was in Canada they said, well, we'll raise the price of the game because these idiots they never noticed that.
Well, it was $60 at the time. That was before the price raise, so it was $60.
No, but that was The Last of Us was the last game though that was that you pay for online. That's when Sony announced that they're not doing online payment anymore.
Yeah. That
was the last game that did it, I believe, and then after that. They announced that because then we find out then you're paying for internet anyway. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. Last of Us I think will be decent though. I think it'll be good to play it again. I can't wait for the multiplayer. So.
I totally with you. Not too dirty.
It's not the thing driving me right now.
That's the only reason I'm really excited about it. I think the story will stay with you and resonate until the end of time. But the multiplayer, I'm so excited to see. That's really what I'm hyped for. And BriarRabbit, when you play that multiplayer, we got to have a conversation. I want to see how much you like that, man.
Well, there's a lot of multiplayer gaming on the forefront here, coming out. A lot of stuff I'm really excited about. Valve is right on the horizon. Destiny multiplayer we've already talked about for a lot of time. The Division, the multiplayer, and that is the driving force behind why I want that. That new Tom Clancy game, Rainbow Six, that game looks phenomenal. There's a lot of multiplayer game. Right there. Go ahead, Nazi Nerdy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did a vlog about this from our weekly vlog, and I was talking about what's the most exciting game that's coming out in October that you think, and I chose the most exciting one's Evil Within. That's what I'm most excited for. So I'm kind of curious what your quick answer is. What you guys think is the most exciting one? I mean, I could go over real quick. The games are coming out if you want.
Yeah, I need that.
Oh man.
Yeah, run that.
In October. It's got to happen in October.
This is all in October, so I'll announce in a second. This is updated July 9th. So, I don't know. Might be some different things since then. But, all right. So, we got Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. We got Skylanders Trap Team. Alien Isolation. We got Dragon Age. Drive Club. Middle-earth Shadow Mordor. NBA Live. NBA 2K15. Project Spark. Borderlands, a pre-sequel, Raven's Cry, Battlefield Hardline, The Evil Within, Evolve, Fantasia, Music Evolved. We got Samurai Warriors 4. We got Civilization Beyond Earth. We got Assassin's Creed Unity. We got Lords of the Fallen. We got Sunset Overdrive, and we got WWE 2K15. I don't think people realize how many games there was. It's a lot of damn games right there. So, your thoughts?
Not big on Assassin's Creed. For me, the two that probably I know I'll have to buy in October will be Evolve and The Evil Within, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and I want to see if they can really bring survival horror back to its shining glory, back to the original start. A game like Resident Evil scared the bejesus out of me, and I want to play a game that's like that again. And Evolve, I want to play that because it changes the paradigm of multiplayer. But the rest of them, I'm happy to see them, but I don't feel like in that month I'll get any time to play them.
Well, that's just to remind you guys, that's 21 games in the month of October.
I'm not actually familiar with The Evil Within. What is that?
That is the horror game that's the scary game that's made by the creators of Resident Evil, the original creator.
The original Resident Evil.
He made all the Resident Evil games. Yeah.
Okay. Now I remember.
So now it brings back the horror game, and that's the whole thing, the whole hype about it. So
that game is scary as shit.
For me, I think it's a three-way tie between Evolve, Sunset Overdrive, and Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
I can go in either one of those.
But you have to choose one.
But I don't want to. Okay,
Well,
I'll go with Evolve because I just really predict having a ton of fun playing that game with a bunch of friends. Like I know it's going to be a ton of fun. What? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if they had to fight to the death, which one will stand out away? But you already answered it. Evolve.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Evolve. Dragon Age though, I'm pretty psyched for Dragon Age.
All right.
I feel the same way, BriarRabbit. Dragon Age was one of my favorite RPGs, the original one, and then when Dragon Age 2 came out, I kind of fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It just didn't live up to the hype. It didn't live up to the original game. And so with this new Dragon Age, I gotta see if they bring back that feeling of nostalgia and improve on it from Part 1 and leave out the crap that they did with Part 2. So I love Dragon Age, but if they continue to go the direction they did in 2, I won't be pleased with it, honestly.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Evolve though, it seems like they can't go wrong there. It just seems like it's set up to be fun.
What about you, Robbie?
Well, I would say Broken Field Hardline. Hands down.
You really?
No.
Broken Field Hardline.
No, fuck no. Shit, no. Never. No, for real though, probably either Evolve or Assassin's Creed Unity. Man, Unity just looked amazing. That co-op demo, holy shit, that was something else. But between those two, definitely for me.
I'm just bored with Assassin's Creed. Like I like the games, but I'm just kind of bored with them.
Oh, by the way, my second place was Lords of the Fallen. Forgot about that. In case you guys don't know what that is. That's
no, I don't. What is that?
It's like seriously looks like what's it? Demon Souls. It looks
I'm out.
It looks like Demon Souls, Dark Souls type game, and that's coming out for only the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So it's not last gen; it's next gen only, and it comes out October 28th.
I just don't hate myself enough to play those games.
I mean, you learn to hate yourself.
You learn to hate yourself. We will beat the state of masochism into you.
I'll never forget, like, when I first started up, what was it? Was the first Dark Souls, not Demon Souls, Dark Souls.
Yeah.
When I first started up, I played, I was like, all right, here we go. I started up, you died. I literally just, the first person I saw, no, it wasn't even a person. The first person I saw came there, and I backed up, and I fell off the cliff, and I died literally in the first 30 seconds of playing the game. That's when I knew I was in for a long ride, and I enjoyed the game, but I think I broke a record for how many times I died during a playthrough. So, yeah.
Can you even count all the times you died?
It was I'm no joke. It was literally over, like, it had to have been over 400 something deaths.
Oh,
like, no joke.
Damn.
I'm not even gonna pretend I was the best at that game. I suck. But Dark Souls 2, I was pretty damn good at.
I watched some Let's Plays of Dark Souls 2, or no, I watched some Twitch streams of Dark Souls 2 when it came out, and it was funny because I'd watch people just dying over and over and over again, and like I'd only watch for like 5 minutes. You know, I'd be like, okay, this is boring to watch. I can't imagine how frustrating it is to play, but people love it. You know,
the funny thing is,
I'm not disparaging it. It's just not for me.
That game is like 10 times easier than Dark Souls. So Dark Souls 2 is way easier. That's why, like, if you fought through Dark Souls and you battled through everything, you won. You'll find Dark Souls 2 easy, which I did. I died way less. I was not dying too much in Dark Souls 2 because of that. So.
Wow. All right. I got some questions for you guys. I really want you to answer. You guys ready
we have to answer them? Damn.
Yeah. We're under pressure here. Here we go.
All right. So some of these are from messages left, like comments, and some of them are from me, and some of them I actually picked off of our gaming on Reddit. So I'm going to start off with comments. All right, so we've talked a lot about Destiny, so I'm not going to ask any Destiny questions. I think we pretty much nailed everything, except for, does everyone want to talk about what character they would pick in Destiny? I think we kind of went over it already.
Yeah, we think we chose it.
Yeah, I think
I would pick. I'll do it again. I'll pick. I think that still I have faith that Warlock's going to be better later. So I would pick Warlock. I have faith that they're going to have more magic stuff later.
Yeah.
Level up. So I think I'll still pick Warlock. But if you're only doing a beta for the first time, I would pick Hunter. I think that's the best out of all the classes. Speed and strength is combined. So I think that Hunter is the best. But
I agree with Not Too Nerdy here. I'd say the Titan is a close second to the Hunter in the beta, but I think in the full game, the Warlock might be... just looking at the tree, like his upgrade tree, it just looks so interesting. Anybody else on that one?
I agree. I usually always go with the mage or, someone who's wielding magic in their palms whenever I play a game like this. And so I was drawn to the Warlock immediately. And I'm really just interested to see exactly where it goes. So, I mean, I'm going to stick with it to the end and probably play through with other characters. But my first pick will definitely be the Warlock. Hopefully I can update that stupid glide jump. And thank goodness for Not Too Nerdy for teaching me how to drop.
Yeah, that's a big skill.
X to drop. Press one button.
See Beastly Gamer floating off the map. So
yeah, I was gone too.
Well, Beastly, when the alpha came out, I was posting videos of Destiny on my channel, and I had people yelling at me in the comments, "Don't you know that you can slide in this game? Don't you know about the power move?"
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know anything about the power move. It just was not on my radar at all. So the people in my comments were actually teaching me how to play the game. So I'd read the comments and I'd go back and play.
See, Beastly, though, just to remind you, the best way to drop is to hit like your head on something and then you drop quickly. You drop quickly. That's the best way.
Well,
just find something to stop you from floating higher, and you're good to go in the game.
All right, guys. So I read this one off of Reddit, right? So it's a little bit generic, but of all the games you've ever played, which game hit you like a truck? So, hit you like a truck, I think, can be interpreted in many ways, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys to kind of interpret it. And I'll answer first because mine. Once I read the question, it came to me very easily. It was, I can't believe I forgot the name of the game now.
That must have been awesome.
It was that Dreamcast RPG with Sky.
Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia.
That game came out of like right field for me. The art.
Unless you're talking about Skylanders.
No, it was Skies of Arcadia. So that game hit me out of left field. The art wasn't really that interesting. It got really good reviews, so I bought it based on the reviews. Even though, like from what I saw of the game, that was the days before YouTube. So really, you're just looking at screenshots in a magazine, and I was blown away. The game was absolutely phenomenal. I loved how you could build a base. I loved the sky pirate aspect of it. I thought the characters were really deep and involving. I loved the story. I loved how there was a ton of side quests, so you could really expand your playthrough. I think I put a lot of hours into that game. It's hard to remember. It was a long time ago. So of all the games I've ever played, that is the game that really it rolled me over because I was just so impressed by how good it was, and it really came out of left field for me.
Nice. That's good. That's a good game. It's a really good game. So I enjoyed that game.
Yeah, that was a good one. Who wants to go next?
I'll go because I've got such a big mouth. I'm not going to say what everybody thinks I want to say. It's not The Last of Us. I've been alive for what I consider a long time now. And one of the games that I played, it probably hit me like a truck the most. The very first time that I saw it would have to be Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcade. This is the first time I'd ever saw characters that were rendered in a 2D fashion like this, and they look photorealistic in a game that you could actually control and make them do what you wanted to do. Up until that time, I saw Street Fighter, which was pixels, and it was a cartoon. In Mortal Kombat, you got these real characters, and they're animated so smoothly. It looked like, back in those days, it looked like someone was actually inside the screen. And
It's hard to
the game
go
had
back,
such a
but it
hoopla.
did look good at the time.
It did. When it first came out, there was nothing better. It was in the news. It was on all the news stations. Everybody was talking about the violence of the game, and it was like the biggest thing, at least that year, as far as video games went. Everybody talked about Mortal Kombat, and I think that game it stuck with me. And to me, that was a game changer there. They changed the graphical style of a fighting game. The controls were tight. You could do fatalities. That was the first time you ever saw, video game violence on that level. Sub-Zero's spine rip. When I did that, I thought I was going to get in trouble. Because I was a kid. I was like, holy shit, I just pulled this guy's spine out. But, Mortal Kombat for sure. There's a lot of runners up, but we're not doing that. But I would say Mortal Kombat Part 1 on the arcade.
I saw that game in an arcade first time, too, and they put it right next to the Street Fighter machine, and I just kind of saw it there. And so I started watching people play it, and I saw a guy do the spine rip fatality, and I was like, holy Jesus, I've never seen anything like that in a game before. And so I asked him, how'd you do that? And he tells me the commands. I'm like, how the fuck did you find out about that?
Yeah, because there was no internet back then. No.
He was actually from the future, and he traveled back in time to play that game.
Did it look like Not Too Nerdy? Tell the truth. Was it Not Too Nerdy? I just told you that yesterday, BriarRabbit. Yeah.
All right.
Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go. I'm going to be honest with you. Flappy Bird hit me like a truck when it first came out.
So much game.
No, but,
why? Did somebody get frustrated and throw the phone and hit you in the head?
Oh, yeah. Like a truck.
No, but honestly, I've talked about this game plenty of times. Obviously, my favorite game ever made, Metal Gear Solid. I feel like when I first played that game, and I saw the fact that it was the first game to me that you played the hero, like the true hero, and then it's like you were like the main character of a movie, and it went like back and forth from cutscene to game to cutscene to game, and you felt like you were in the movie. And I feel like since then that game changed the way like action games were played. Like they started putting more cutscenes, and they started showing more scenes in the games, as opposed to going from like the 2D games that you start seeing in the beginning, and now you start seeing like in a 3D world, you start seeing more cutscenes, you start seeing more story-driven games. And I think that's what this game showed. It wasn't just action, wasn't just like gameplay. It was also very story-driven, and you got to be the hero of the story. And I felt like that was pretty cool.
And it had nudie magazines in it.
Absolutely, it had a lot of things in there. Like it had a guy, you smoke cigarettes. Like back then, like you showing smoking things. Like it was good.
Yeah, it was revolutionary.
Yeah, you saw, you could see the guards go. They went to go take a piss and stuff, and like you could just stand next to them, and then you could kill them while they were taking a piss. Like
yeah, right. I forgot about that.
They block out the privates like Japanese porn. It was crazy.
And like the one guard, like you saw.
They do that in Japanese porn.
Yeah, you can't see any of the little tidbits.
And then like you see like the one guy, like he's like, oh, like he obviously he had the craps, and like he saw him run, like he has to go to the bathroom, he runs.
Yeah.
Great parts of the game, man. It's a great
I forgot about those little details. Now that you're bringing them up, I remember them now.
Not Too Nerdy, you're forgetting like one of the biggest parts of that game, man. You got to talk about Psycho Mantis. I'll let you tell him.
Psycho Mantis, about the whole thing, how to beat the game. Like it really, it made it look like the game was bugging out. It was flashing, the screen's flashing, and it started reading everything in your memory card. So it started saying things that you had in your memory card, and it freaked me out when I was younger. I'm like, oh my god, the game's
Only Konami games.
What was that?
It was
No,
only
you
type
know,
could.
it said Konami games, but I never had a Konami game in the disc, and I still say that to today, and it read games in there that was not Konami, just to let you know. That's why I think that whole thing was busted, because I know someone else said the same thing. It's not the truth. It's not Konami. I was bugging out. I didn't have one Konami game in there, and it read every single game on my thing.
Holy shit! You
It
still got that
randomly
console?
it randomly selected. All it did was randomly generate. It didn't announce all the stuff you had there. It randomly select a couple, and then it puts it on the screen. So I don't think it was just Konami.
I think it did something special with Konami games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
well, he would actually say it. I mean, I had Symphony of the Night, and he'd always say, "You like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, don't you?"
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, he pronounced it, but the ones that he didn't, the other ones there, he displayed it. It was displayed on the digital thing. It read it. It wasn't read out loud, but they displayed it still. They just copied what was there, and they displayed it the same way it's on your memory card. So that's why it bugged me out. And the only way to beat him, obviously, you take the controller and you put it in the player 2 spot, and that's it. The player 2 port. But like stuff like that was so awesome, so cool to see, like them being so creative with the game. And you know, I really enjoyed that. And to me, like that's just the best game ever made, in my opinion. Just because the way it had a good evenness to everything. You had action, you had story, you had gameplay, you had all of it in one game, and you know, and there was different endings too, which was pretty cool back then as well.
Yeah.
So.
I never heard anybody describe Superman 64 that way, but shit, I agree with you.
What do you got, Robbie? What game hit you like a truck?
Well, so I'm guessing by hit by a truck, you just mean what game like absolutely blew you away, or what? Like,
You can interpret it how you want. It's kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
For me, Skies of Arcadia wasn't my favorite game of all time, but it answered the question for me. It kind of bowled me over by how different it was than what I was expecting.
Okay, I'd probably have to say, and this is the only one that really sticks out for me, but The Last of Us. And I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you young, and you didn't experience the NES days and Super Mario and all that." But I'm sorry, I'm only 17, all right? I wasn't around during that time, but. Man, when The Last of Us came out, that was just something else. Like, I'd never been so blown away by a game before. I was like, holy shit, this is unreal. Like, the first 30 minutes when Joel's daughter, Sarah, dies, spoiler alert, but...
I
didn't know that shit.
Sorry. Take out your...
Make me knock out everything, dude.
Yeah, but there was just so many moments in that game where I was speechless. I was just so blown away by everything in that game. I mean, it made me so emotional at times. Like, everything about that game just blew me away. And, like, I'll never forget the first time I played through it. It was just... I've never had that experience in a game before. That was amazing.
Robbie, the story of that game, I think, does something that is not... A lot of games really get wrong. Is a lot of games, I feel like they've designed the levels and then they make the story to kind of fit it. Or the story has to wander so much just to make a long enough game, you know, but that game had a story that was really tight, and the gameplay and the story worked together in a really good way, and it really added to the emotional weight of what you were doing. It didn't last so long that you got sick of it, or it didn't feel like you were doing things that were out of place based on what the characters were doing. Like, the quest was how you think that quest would actually go, and it added to the emotional weight of the game, I think, at a level that is hard to match.
Yeah, everything was just so perfectly executed in that game. It really just does blow me away. I can't sum it up as well as I'd ever want to, but it's just incredible in every way. That's really what I think.
Robbie, spoiler alert. When you say spoiler, you say spoiler first, and then say what you're going to spoil afterwards.
If I say awesome. When Ellie turns into a zombie, and then spoiler alert, it's too late. You already heard that Ellie turns into a zombie.
I realized I made that mistake pretty quick.
That was awesome, man. He tells what he spoiler first.
Here's a spoiler, and then spoiler. Oh, that's right. You've already heard
That's what you do. On the title of your video, you put down what happens, and then the description, you put the title.
Spoiler alert.
You put spoiler alert.
And no one's gonna.
He's Luke's father.
I just had a brain fart, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Title of the video is "He's Luke's father." Description: spoiler alert.
And we can make a part 2 to that too. It's called Mufasa Dies. He's Simba's father.
I cried when Mufasa died.
Bruce Willis is the ghost. Just saying. In case you didn't know, he is the ghost. Don't lie. You guys know damn well that was the biggest twist in the movie.
Yeah, that fucked me up. Yeah.
That was good.
All
right,
right now it's not funny.
I might have asked this question before because it seemed familiar to me when I was reading it. This is another Reddit question. But I can't remember if I asked it or not. So if you could have, magical desert island scenario where, you're stuck on a desert island, you can't get off, but you do have internet. Okay?
Yes, what a great island that is.
Yeah. So magical desert island scenario. What system, you can have one system, current gen included, but you can only have one system. What system do you have? What do you bring with you? In all the games that came out for that system.
But only up until current, not the games that have been announced.
Yeah, let's say you can have the games that are announced as well.
I want to go with the PS4.
You are. So you wouldn't go with like something like retro and classic, like NES or Super Nintendo or Sega CD.
Nope.
I think you were.
Get the hell out of here.
I think you might be a 32X man.
Waiting for Sewer Shark.
Just play 32X games for the rest of the time.
Yeah, the 32X. Yeah. The reason I picked the PS4 is because they've announced some really great games coming out. We got all these games coming in October. We got The Last of Us on PS4, and they got a pretty decent back catalog of some, PS2 games that are coming out. Possible PS3 games coming out with PS Now.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. It's like since you can play PS2 and PS1 games on your PS4. Does that count?
You get all. Yeah, you get all. It's internet, and all you got to do is connect to someone else on some lonely island, and you got a party.
I'm gonna Destiny up. I'll forget all about my stupid island.
Yeah.
What do you think, Robbie? What would you go with?
I know, Not Too Nerdy. You're already at your own island right now. He's got his own internet.
He's literally got an internet floating in bits on the internet.
Those hamsters are working overtime right now.
Oh yeah, they're on that wheel, they're doing it.
What would you go with, Robbie? What system would you go with?
PlayStation 4, because I can just use PlayStation Now and stream like every PlayStation game ever created from any generation.
It's too easy with being able to do that. So I'm modifying the question. You can no longer.
No. I got.
All right, what would you go with, Not Too Nerdy?
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo?
Because all the other consoles are not going to be capable to stand the heat in the desert. Just let you know, the desert island, they're all going to overheat. Every single one of them.
There's no AC on the desert island.
All going to overheat. So go ahead, have fun with your consoles. That hasn't been proven yet. The PS4 hasn't been proven yet.
Yep.
The PS3, we know they all can overheat. So go ahead, have fun. Play your games for about maybe a month in this desert heat, and it's gone.
What's going to happen when a coconut hits your PS4, huh?
Hell yeah.
Exactly. The Super Nintendo, you don't have to worry about it, bro.
Yeah,
Just let me know right now. It's been proven to work, and it still works. So, it might be discolored. It might not be gray still. It might be yellow, but guess what? It's still going to work.
But what happens, Not Too Dirty, when you got those thousands of games piled up and you're looking for one?
What's that?
It's like you're here to find that shit. What happens when you're looking for one game in particular?
The cool thing is they sell these Super Nintendo games, right? That you just put ROMs inside of it, and then you don't have to worry about carrying all those games. You can actually just use ROMs and download ROMs for the rest of your life and play any of those games on your console. That's a great thing about that console. You can always play any of the games. You just download it and play it.
Well, if that's the case, you just take yourself.
If anything happens to it, there's a 1-800 number to call right on the back.
Exactly. It's the best thing to do.
I don't know, guys. You guys kind of sold me on the PS4. I should have modified the question so you couldn't play any older games.
I'm just saying, all of you guys aren't going to be able to play soon. Just saying. And don't forget, just saying right now, you're going to be on the island by yourself anyway, so who cares? You might as well just play single-player games anyway. I know you're going to have multiplayer, but forget that. You can play by yourself in a desert island. No one's gonna know you're there. The end.
Well, can we swim over to your island and maybe get some split screen Mario Kart going or something?
You better be diligent about blowing the sand out of the cartridges, not too nerdy.
Oh yeah.
You're not supposed to blow.
I don't ever want to hear anybody say that to me again.
Don't tell me that. This got real dirty real fast.
Awkward moments.
Yeah.
Got a good Pornhub joke in here, too.
All right, so I read this question. This is another Reddit question. And this one hit home because I actually run into this. Do you guys, obviously video gaming takes up a lot of time in our lives, right? As a hobby, it's a time-intensive hobby. It can also be a costly hobby. Do you guys have any people in your life, be it a parent or a girlfriend or a wife, that sees your hobby,
or boyfriend? What's
or
wrong with
boyfriend
that?
or husband, or other,
Stand up for gay rights.
or other, who sees that you play games and looks down on it, but at the same time, you know, they have other hobbies. You know, like for me, I'll speak personally. Jan reads a lot of books, so the time I spend playing video games, she's often reading a book. So she doesn't really have a problem with me playing games. But do you guys have any problems with that in your life, and how do you overcome it? I'm going to start off with you, Beastly Gamer, because I think you have a pretty unique situation in that your wife actually plays a lot of games too.
Yeah, she just beat 2 games on 3DS. She beat Kid Icarus, and I told you last week she beat A Link Between Worlds, but she beat Kid Icarus this week.
Does she still have
does a lot
thumbs?
of
That game control scheme was like retarded.
She hated it. I didn't even play it, but she hated that control. That's all she kept talking about. She's fucking control. But she reads a lot of books too. So when I'm doing a single player, she's usually on the couch with a cup of tea and reading a book as well. But this is how you combat a situation if you have a spouse or a friend who looks down upon you for gaming. Because gaming has saved my life on more than one occasion. My ex-wife didn't like video games. She pretended to like it. When I first met her, she said, "I'm going to get a Sega Dreamcast." I said, "Really? Why?" She said, "Because I like Sonic." I was like, "Oh my goodness." Keep her. It was all lies. Divorce.
Can I just say something, Beastly, though? Beastly, just so you know right there, if you ask a girl that says that she likes the game and the first thing she mentions is either Mario or Sonic, she doesn't like games, bro. That's the only ones they know. Just saying, that's the first thing they say. When they say Sonic or Mario, that's all they know. It's not true. Continue.
She should have just told the truth.
If she says I'm a guild leader in PlanetSide, then maybe you got something going on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, like, really? My dream come true. Yeah, so divorce.
Oh, go ahead.
I said divorce on the spouse friend. If it's a friend, fuck him. All right, go ahead, Nancy Nerdy.
Oh, this girl I'm talking to, like, she always said, "Oh, it's so cute, you're so nerdy." Meaning that I'm like, first of all, I correct her, so I'm not too nerdy, first of all. Second of all,
I'm not too nerdy.
just like, you know, like it's okay, because, like, they find different interests. Like, I mean, she loves to read. I don't really read that much. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the last time I read is when I had to read. Like, I read articles, I read stories online. I'm always online reading things, but I don't read books. Like, I'm going to be straight honest. I don't read books. And she's
You're
like
real
big
man.
into books. She reads she's big into books, imagination and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I'll just watch the movie, or like I'll play the game, or Audible has a great thing that you just listen to them read it to me. And, like, I love that. Like, oh, let me read this book. So anytime you really hear me say I just read a book, I just listen to someone read a book to me.
Why would I use my eyeballs like a chump when I can have somebody literally read this book to me?
A real man plays a video game while listening to Audible.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, you can do two at once. But, my suggestion is just be yourself, and, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the other person's going to like you for you. It doesn't matter if they have different interests. That's just a hobby, and that's it. I mean, it's great if you have the same thing, but it's also great when you don't, because then you could, you have something that's different about each other, and it's something that you learn about each other. I think that's good. But I don't know. Like, I'm not going to say we're going to have, like, I mean, I would definitely I think it'd be cool if she played games with me sometimes, but I don't really see myself really sitting down reading books. I don't know how you do books
it's not a two-person activity.
Like, do we read a sentence to each other? Like, we switch?
Page, I get the next.
Yeah, you flip the page too fast. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think I read that fast either compared to her. So I mean,
maybe she can just feed you grapes while you read.
Yeah.
This seems to be something we all have in common once again. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Have the women in question here read 50 Shades of Grey?
I don't know.
She has.
Jan reads like 3 or 4 books a month.
Yeah.
So
Kate reads like 3 or 4 a week, man.
Wow.
I think she's trying to get Pinky in the brain. She's trying to take over the world.
I read 2 pages of that book. And I was like, this book is vulgar. I'm like, wow. Like, who writes this? Like, a female wrote this book? Is very...
An alien wrote it.
Very, very, like... And they're making a movie about that, too, soon. So, it's
I might check that out. I want to know who the stars are before I
forgot the actor's name.
They already announced him.
Actor? I don't care who the actor is. I'm
no,
not
the actor's name. Like, the one actress.
I don't want to see none of that shit. I want to see Pornhub. I'll go to Pornhub.
For research. Robbie, now you're a little bit younger, so you still live with your parents. How do you deal with that? Now I know with my kids, even though I play video games an awful lot, I have to restrict their video game intake because they'll block out everything else in life. Do you have to run into that? You're a little bit older than my kids, so I'm sure that you're a lot more independent. So.
Yeah, I mean, I am 17, so I'm almost kind of an adult, maybe. Getting there. But yeah, my parents they like reading a lot of books. They do that, and they've clearly showed me a lot of times that they are not really okay with how much time I spend playing video games at times, but I just say, it's just what I enjoy. It's just what I love, like playing online with friends. It's such a great time, and they just say, well, you spend a little too much time on it, maybe you should do something else. And then...
Tell them you want to go out and have sex with 5 women per day.
Oh yeah, I'll be digging that totally. But
not helpful, Beasley.
But the thing is, they tell me how much they don't like me playing games so much, but they don't do much about it. Like, they just keep telling me, oh, you play games too much, but they never really do anything.
For my kids, so I have the same concern for my kids, is that I don't mind that they play games. I play games. I love games. I loved video games when I was a kid, and I know that they're going to love video games, so that's great. But I do not want them to not experience other things in life. So I sign them up for baseball. I make them go outside and use their imagination and get some fresh air sometimes, even though they don't want to. And I understand that they'd rather be in playing video games, and I understand that when I was a kid, sometimes I'd rather be inside playing video games, not doing what somebody else wanted me to. But I don't want them to grow up not experiencing anything else. What if I bring them to the driving range and we hit some golf balls and they end up loving it and becoming the next Tiger Woods? That's unlikely, but what if they end up what if golf becomes one of their favorite things for the rest of their life? They never got to see golf because I let them just play video games, or B, they got to try golf, they ended up loving it or hating it, and we move on to something else. There's always that push and pull for me, and sometimes I really feel like a fraud about it because I want to be playing video games too, but in my heart I know that I have to show them these other things. I have to get them out there. I have to at least expose them to other things besides what's on a TV screen, real things. Interacting with real
kind
people.
Of a do as I say? Is it kind of a do as I say, not as I do type of situation?
Not really, Beasley, because I am going out every day. I play on a softball team all summer long. I work. I'm out being social. I go to the grocery store, the hardware store. I do those things. I hang out with friends on Friday or Saturday night. So my life isn't exclusively video games. There are social aspects to my life. There are work-related things. When I tell my kids to go out and clean up the yard, pick up all the sticks in my yard, I know that they don't want to do it, and I know that I wouldn't have wanted to do it when I was a kid. But guess what? Life is you're going to have to do stuff you don't want to do because people are telling you to do it. So you have to get used to it now, And so yeah, sometimes I feel like a fraud because yes, I'd rather be inside playing Minecraft too, and I get that. You know, like I'm very aware of the fact that you don't want to pick up these sticks,
See,
but you still have to do it.
when I was younger, like I played like all sports. You know, that's when I was big into sports, and I still play games and stuff. But like when you just said like you want them to go outside and use their imagination, you know what that led for me? That leads me that snowboarding off the roof and falling and break my arm. Like that's what imagination does to me. I imagine that I can make this jump from the roof to a ramp that was built out of snow, and I didn't make the jump. Yeah. I wasn't even close. Like stuff like that's what I do in my imagination. That's why when you see that, like I remember that's what happened, and because of that, like I was like couldn't really do too much because I broke my arm. So I was pretty much playing games for a while because
you had a cast that had no thumb on it.
I was going like this, and I was able to do it. I was playing the game still, and that was me, like using my imagination right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely good, man, because I play sports a lot. Like, it's always good to do other things plus that. That's how you meet new people, and that's how you, like, have a social life outside of gaming. Because, like, I'm afraid, like, people today are relying too much on social networks or video games to meet other people, which is cool. You meet other people. Look at us. Like, we met each other through YouTube. You know, that's awesome. But at the same time, you got to meet people around you and socialize like that. And you have to learn that stuff by sports or clubs or any activities that you do outside of gaming. I mean,
yeah, I feel like
you can go to.
It's not necessarily just video games either. If my kids were just focused on reading all the time, I'd still encourage them to do. You know, I understand that you're not athletic, but you're gonna play basketball this season. You're gonna stick with it all season, even if you don't like it. You don't have to play it next season, but you have to stick with it because your team is now relying on you to be there. Your coach is relying on you to be there. You're not going to be allowed to be a quitter because that's not going to be an acceptable behavior for the rest of your life. That's not a behavior that leads to success. So, you know, you have to keep moving along those lines. And I don't know, you know, I had friends growing up who just weren't into video games. Most of my friends weren't into video games. I was on the wrestling team. I was on the baseball team. I played sports with my friends, and that's where most of my friends came from. So they'd make fun of me for playing video games. I'm like, do you guys watch TV at night? What do you guys go home and do when you go home? And they say, well, we watch TV. I'm like, well, I do the same thing, except instead of just watching a story, I'm interacting with the story. I think it's a superior piece of entertainment, you know.
Burn! Ooh. Yeah.
I would have felt like a dumbass in school. If I said that shit to you, you said it to me, I'd be like, you're right. Damn it, I'm going to go play Contra.
I have something to say about the
go ahead, Robbie.
Because you were saying, Briar, about how a lot of your friends weren't into gaming at school and stuff like that. At my school, pretty much everybody I knew, like most of the guys there are totally into games. Like they'd play on Xbox and PlayStation a lot. Like almost everybody I went to school with was into games in some form or another. So it was easy to interact in that way. But they did like other things too, of course. Like they'd talk about school and stuff like that, and like sports maybe or whatever. But yeah, pretty much everybody I know was into games in some form or another. Maybe not super hardcore like we are, but they still enjoy playing games.
Girls flip a switch too. I feel like is like you can be, as a child, you can be super focused on video games, and then all of a sudden you realize that yes, I want to be super focused on girls now, and now I'm going to be super focused on whatever girls are super focused on. If they like jocks, I'm going to be a jock. If they like chess players, I'm going to go play chess. Like so that flips a switch in you too. Like suddenly you're not. Life doesn't become all about what you need at the moment. It becomes, you know, you start setting longer-term goals, too, so.
Yeah, because, Robbie, that's how you do. Like, just letting you know, in the future, where girls say, I like this. Like, you're kidding me. I like that, too.
The Notebook is my favorite movie.
Oh, my God. That scene was incredible. Which scene? The one at the end. Oh, yeah.
That one scene. The one at that one.
Bronze may not be the best way to start a long-term relationship, but it gets a lot of short-term ones started.
Yeah, a lot of short-term ones.
Yeah.
It's all about goals.
And that's your first secret. People are watching the show. That's like...
Thank you guys for tips. Yeah, I'll remember that.
That's your nerdy tip for the day. Nerdy tip for the day.
Not too nerdy. That's the thing. It wasn't too nerdy on that. Just right.
Yeah, I don't feel like that was not too nerdy. No, I feel like that was not too nerdy. That's hard to say.
It messes with your mind.
It's like you're inside my brain.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm watching
wrap
under the
this one up,
skin.
or you guys want one more question?
I got a question.
Oh, okay,
I
go
wanna
ahead.
ask. This kind of came to me during the show because I was thinking about Ni no Kuni. If you
Say
guys,
that again? I think you sneezed while you're saying that word.
I was thinking about Ni no Kuni, the Studio Ghibli game, and here's my question: if you guys had to eliminate either JRPGs, traditional JRPGs, like Ni no Kuni or Final Fantasy, or you had to eliminate Western RPGs like Skyrim, Fallout, you had to pick one or the other, and they completely are eliminated from memory recollection of any kind, but you had to keep the other, and their entire catalog of Western or JRPGs. What would you pick and why?
Sayonara.
And you guys comment below too. Sayonara.
There's no
What would you pick?
no way I'm getting rid of the American stuff or the Western stuff. I love it too much. I love, Skyrim and Fallout. I could play Fallout for the rest of my life, I think. Like, if they just made a new Fallout game every year, I could be happy for the rest of my life.
I don't know, because I feel like
Chrono Trigger is Japanese.
no, I feel like that's another one that's like a failed question, because the way I see it, there wouldn't be an American RPG without the Japanese RPG. Like, that's why I feel like one would have led into the other one. So if I got rid of the JRPG,
yeah, but everybody would get off their desert island if they had internet anyway. So you just gotta go with these things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you could go on the internet and find out how to make a raft and get off the island.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one, hypothetical, not too nerdy, you either lose all that glorious Chrono Trigger, every good JRPG, Final Fantasy.
yeah, but you lose Destiny and everything as well.
Well, you got to make a choice. Make or break it here, baby. Make it or break it.
I'm gonna say goodbye to the Western RPGs.
Ooh.
In this question, I don't think there would be Western RPGs without the Eastern stuff, because they're built off of the Eastern stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he
That's what
just
I'm saying.
said.
Yeah, but it's not. You couldn't if you got rid of them though. Like, there's no way you'd see the other. Like, you
That's the
definitely
whole
have.
point.
What?
That's the point. You're saying if you got rid of Eastern JRPGs,
Yeah.
Western
you'd never
doing
come
yes.
to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
that's
come
what
to
I said. They would. I don't think
know.
all the RPG elements came from the JRPGs. They're the ones that did that first, and then they did.
But they
more
stole
of
them all
American
from
stuff.
Dungeons and Dragons, really. So.
But in this fantasy world ruled by unicorns and manatees,
Yeah.
this is the question.
Oh God.
So it's not going to be you don't have to take it all the way to finality. Which one would you pick? So you would definitely pick the JRPGs to keep, not too dirty?
I don't know. I think JRPGs overall the thing is this: like, JRPGs originally were the best, and they just didn't evolve. They pretty much stayed consistently the same, and that's the problem. But then again, like, it evolved. A part of it evolved into what American is, right? The Western ones are. So, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know how to answer that question, because I actually like the JRPGs. I think that was important. I think that was a good starting point. But where we are today, the Western is what makes the RPGs really stand out the most right now.
I agree with you. I
And you
liked
get,
them when they were new, but I don't like them anymore.
Once every couple years or once a year, you might see one good JRPG, but they're slowing up on which ones are good and stuff like that. Like, Dragon's Dogma wasn't that bad, but, like, it had bad mechanics on it, like, stuff like that. Like, that's an example of, like, a big Japanese one that was supposed to be big when it came out. It had some flaws in it, but it wasn't a bad game either. But
even Japan's not buying them at the rate they were.
yeah, so.
Well, I guess I could have rephrased the question. Which do you prefer? If you had to play one for the rest of your life, Western style RPGs or Japanese style RPGs?
Western.
And they could be any games that come out in the future as well. But we all know there's a discerning difference between the two types of games. So, Ni no Kuni versus Skyrim.
I still say JRPG.
You prefer the Japanese stuff?
They make you more think and use your imagination. It's more imagination than the Western pretty much throws it out there, and this is this and this is that. Like, the Western tells a story, but, like, it's their story, and, like, it seems like you have less control of which path they're taking. With JRPG, a lot of times...
that's where I disagree with you there. I feel like the Western stuff has much more control about the path.
Really?
I feel like the JRPG stuff is much more linear.
Not more choice.
I always thought JRPG had more... I don't know. I thought JRPG is more, like, separate. Like, it's more like it's not as linear. I don't know. Can I see some of them are linear? I mean, but if you look at some of the big RPGs for Western, you can't say it either, because Skyrim isn't really a good example. You know what I mean? Skyrim is separate. You know, Skyrim's not linear. So, like...
And Fallout's developed by the same people.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, because Bethesda games, I would have put in that category, because Bethesda is definitely not linear, but I'm saying, like, for certain, like, RPG games, I don't think that...
The majority?
I feel like the JRPG, like, the development of their character, it's all about their character and the story-driven like that for JRPG. But the problem is they just have the same thing over and over again. And I feel like the storytelling now, it's better on the Western side than it will ever be in JRPG. They just are so old school, they don't want to improve. So.
I've never really gotten down with the Japanese sense of storytelling. Even anime or anything like that, they've always put such a focus on the emotions of a character that it always feels overwrought to me. Like, people are just too emotional about things, and it goes too far for me. Like, even Final Fantasy games, they went too far in that direction.
I think that, like, that has to do with the culture too. I think that's like a lot of their stuff is culture driven, so it's based on their culture and, like, fantasy-wise from their culture, and I think that's where the separation comes. Why a lot of Americans don't like that style of RPGs, because that's their culture. Same reason why there's a lot of Japanese that don't like our RPGs, because it's based on our culture, based on certain things, and it's, like, expressed in, like, the way we think, stuff like that. I think it's just culture-driven RPGs. Yeah. So it's it's based on what you would do, and that's what RPG is all about. So it's role-playing. So
a lot of people were talking about Attack on Titan. Has anybody seen that anime series?
Yeah, my kids talk about it constantly.
Yeah, I watched it, and it was cool. It had some cool ideas to it, but what killed it for me really was that the main character was just an emotional wreck, and it got to be grating. I hadn't seen like a girl cry so much since Blair Witch Project, and this was a dude. You know.
What about Halloween Part 2, the Rob Zombie remake? She cried her ass off. It pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't dig on that. Like, get over it.
I love anime, and I love the contrast of characters. I just got done watching Wolf Children. That was a really good movie. Yeah. I guess it all depends on what you like. And one person didn't get a chance to answer it. I don't want Robbie to feel left out. Robbie, how do you feel about it?
Hold on. Before Robbie talks, I'd like to interrupt a few more times.
Sure.
Go ahead, Robbie. Sorry. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. And now the couch speaks.
Robbie's cushion, what he thinks.
By the way, Cowboy Bebop.
Is that good?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Naruto.
The Japanese way of storytelling has just never floated my boat too much.
Have you seen Perfect Blue?
No. Should we wrap this one up, guys?
It's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, man.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a great show. I think we had a ton of fun with Destiny. I know that I'm playing more Destiny tonight. That's just something that's going to happen. You guys got anything big coming up on your channels this week?
Sure.
I'm going to do my 300 subscriber video.
That's right. Congratulations, Pisa. That's a big step. That's a milestone.
You gotta take baby steps before you get on your motorcycle, you know. But it means a lot to me. And this is a kind of a tribute video. I'm really excited about it. I'm just so happy that I got 300 people who like me enough to sit and listen to my bullshit, you know. But 300 subscribers. I'm going to be playing some King Oddball. I just bought that on PSN for the PS4, which is a ridiculous game. It's kind of like Angry Birds, but it's not. I've just been having a lot of fun with those indies on the PS4. They're giving you so much, man.
Yeah.
But I'll be doing that. I'll be on Destiny tonight. I promised the wife and kids I'm making dinner tonight. So when I get done here, it's time to get to it. Prove to them that I'm a real black man. And that's what I'll be doing this week, playing video games.
What are you cooking?
I'm making Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes from scratch, corn, cornbread muffins, and green peas.
That sounds
Wow.
delicious. I'll be right
That's
over.
for dinner, Beastly.
Yeah.
Beastly thoughts for dinner.
It might be a little fermented by the time you get here.
It's a
but
beastly
sure.
dinner.
Beastly thoughts dinner.
All right, Not Too Dirty, what do you got coming up this week? I know you got an epic video game pickup.
Yeah, I got some video game pickups. This isn't the real. Well, I thought it was epic until I got something later on at nighttime that was even more epic. So, I got some good games and stuff, but more about the accessories for Monday's video. But yeah, and then after that, I'm gonna have to explain that from now on, I'm gonna have I think it's gonna be a 4-part video. So each Monday, it's gonna be a new part for my pickups. It's one huge pickup that I think consists of 100 and something games. So
Oh my God!
Wow.
It's 100 something games. It's 100 games. So I need to split that up 4 videos, maybe 25 games per. I don't know. I might have to do 5 videos. I don't know how it's gonna work out yet, but it's a lot of games and it's a lot of stuff. It's just, but
All this from one pickup?
I'll give you a brief thing. There's N64 rare games like Conquer and there's different things that are there that's rare, the Mega
Is
Man.
Conquer rare? I didn't know that.
Conquer is rare the way I have it, which I'll show you guys.
Yeah, you bastard.
And then there's also some Mega Man games, but not like the NES Mega Man, which it's Mega Man X games, which are very expensive for just the cartridge alone, and I got a good amount of them, so I'll explain that. So it's a big pickup. And
I'm looking forward to it. You know what I want you to do though, Not Too Dirty? I'd like to see some gameplay on those videos. I think you did that last video, right?
I did the last 2 videos. I started putting gameplay or trailer of that game on the top 2. As I'm explaining it, I think I'm gonna explain it more, a little bit more, a brief description for each game so to give you more time to see gameplay, because some of them I'm doing so quickly that the gameplay is too short to clip. I want to show you guys more gameplay, so I'm going to start doing that.
A lot of the games you pick up, I'm not even familiar with, so it's fun to see what the game actually is while you're talking about it.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do that, and that's why I have to shorten the amount of games I'm showing, so it won't be super long video, and you can still see
it's a lot of editing.
Games. So yeah, it's a lot of editing. But I mean, it doesn't take too long to edit, but it's also rendering time.
Yeah, you got to play it. You gotta record it. You gotta get it into your rendering program. You gotta import it. It's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it for me. Yeah,
luckily sometimes I find trailers, so I get trailers online too sometimes, which is good. That's why sometimes I do trailer that shows gameplay in it. But if it doesn't have to do that, then I have to do it from scratch and play the game and then record it. So
yeah, I like that. I like that series. I told you that before, but I have a good time.
Yeah, this one's big now. I don't know, I might go back to Garage Sale maybe one more time this summer. I don't know, because this is going to be a lot of videos. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to go on from now on. That was something I did not expect. And by the way, people are watching this was a lot of those N64 games that I got, boxes and stuff, were in my friend's sock drawer for 15 years. Okay.
How big is the sock drawer? You had 100 games in there? You must have an enormous pair of socks.
Just the box N64 games were in there. So that's why I say the box. That's why the box is in perfect condition. I cannot believe he put his socks and stuff on top of that. That
smells a little funky, but it's a good.
I mean, it's a little funky, but it's a smell of success.
You might think that's Funyuns, but that's actually success.
It smells like success in fabric softener.
It smells great to me.
That's what the guy who drives the shit wagon talks about. It smells like money to me. All right, Robbie, what do you got coming up this week? You excited about any upcoming releases? What are you excited about?
Last of Us Remastered, and then another month till Destiny comes out. Oh, and my Scuff 4PS should be here maybe by the end of the month.
That's right. I meant to ask you about that. So yeah, it's long delivery time on that, right? It's because they actually are building them.
Yeah, because it was a pre-order, so when you go to the, to choose the shipping and stuff like that, it said pre-order 4 to 6 weeks, that's the only option, so I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, we've already been waiting so long, the Scuff 1's already been out for months, it's pretty disappointing, but...
The only reason I didn't buy that is because I want the one that's got the reprogrammable triggers, but that game, or Destiny, is gonna be so useful for Destiny, being able to jump and aim at the same time.
Absolutely.
So useful.
Wait, with the magnetic thing on it?
Yeah, you can.
That's still not ready. I heard that's not gonna be ready for a couple months. They said.
That's why I'm waiting.
I mean, like, what's the point then of getting it now? I mean, you could get it now, but does that mean you can still attach it later because it's a magnetic
Yeah,
thing?
you can send it back in, and you can get one. Like, they can send it to you.
Okay, all right.
If I buy one of those controllers, I'm just I'm just gonna wait and get the one that's like, because they're expensive.
Yeah.
They're like I think they start at around 130, and
Yeah.
by the time you're done, you can easily spend 200.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys for coming. Beastly Gamer, Not Too Nerdy, Robbie. Thank you guys
Very
all.
welcome.
Had an awesome show today. I really enjoyed today's show.
So that.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Ditto.
Bye, guys.